So this is the Thursday, April 17th, 2025 meeting of the Oregon Liquor and Cannabis Commission. Welcome, everybody. Good morning. And I would take the roll, please.
Commissioner Chowdhury.
Here.
Commissioner Curran.
Here.
Commissioner Floyd. Here. Commissioner Glenn.
Here.
Commissioner Japon Porter.
Here.
Commissioner Hayes.
Here.
Commissioner Miletus.
Here.
Commissioner Warren. Here. Chair Doherty.
Here. And I would entertain a motion for approval of the March 2025 commission meeting minutes. Sure.
I move to approve the March 28, 2025 commission meeting minutes as written.
Second. Moved and seconded. We have a roll, please.
Commissioner Chowdhury.
Yes.
Commissioner Curran.
Yes.
Commissioner Floyd.
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn.
Yes.
Commissioner Japon Porter.
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes.
Yes.
Commissioner Miletus.
Yes.
Commissioner Warren.
Yes.
Chair Doherty.
Yes. And now we get to hear from Annalise Dahl. Hello again. Nice to see you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me again. Annalise Dolph, I'm the director of the Oregon Alcohol and Drug Policy Commission. So your sister commission. I was asked to come back today to talk a little bit about Alcohol Awareness Month, which is in April, and sharing some of the messaging and research we're focusing on at the ADPC, and just to give an update on our comprehensive planning for the next 5 years, even in just the, the past month since I have seen you, some developments that we've seen in terms of revenue and some things we need to think about going forward. Excuse me. So to start, April's Alcohol Awareness Month, both the OLCC and the ADPC joined with OHA on the Rethink the Drink campaign, which is a kind of broad public marketing campaign. A lot of you may be aware of that. At the ADPC this month, we really dove in our communications focusing on, for lack of a better term, what we feel like we can control right now in terms of messaging, in terms of youth substance use. So I think we all know that youth under the age of 21, thank you.
Allergies.
Yes, there's a lot of pollen in the air. Youth under the age of 21 use for all kinds of reasons. But there has been some recent research related to parental permission. And it shows for the age group 5 to 17 that when youth are given parental permission, sometimes parents think if I drink with my kid for the first time, then I can kind of, control it and show it to them. And what the research is showing us is that that actually has worse outcomes over time than even just age of onset. So we have been working on messaging for parents to really think about modeling good behavior for your kids, moderate drinking, and sharing some of that information about parental permission. And maybe it doesn't have the effect that, maybe some of us were raised with. We are really fortunate to have a youth collaborative that we're working with on the comprehensive plan in collaboration with the System of Care Advisory Council. They call themselves the Oregon Youth Addiction Alliance. And one of the co-chairs joined me in this messaging and made the really good point that sometimes being the cool parent, as she said, really conveys that it's okay and doesn't convey the information about substances when you're young, really how it affects your brain development. So that's the messaging we've been leaning in on. We have a newsletter. Happy to share anything with folks, but just putting that out there as our sister commission, things we can be talking about that we all agree on in this space with Alcohol Awareness Month to really focus on how we're modeling for you. So now a little bit to the business. The Alcohol and Drug Policy Commission passed a big milestone this week in our development of the next 5-year plan for the state. Our committees have been working across the continuum of care to develop prioritized strategies for the next 5 years. And we presented those to our commission on Monday. We presented them to the state agencies yesterday. Our nurse Simon was there and has also participated, particularly for the OLPC on primary prevention, and then down here at harm reduction, right, at moderated drinking, et cetera, messages. And then the kind of preventing youth use sit at either end. So next we turn to an implementation plan, and that's what we'll be working on for the rest of the year. So really working with the agencies on very specific deliverables over the next 5 years, thinking about regulatory and policy barriers, defining metrics and measurements for success so that we can really, as a state, start to measure year over year how things are going. Our hope is to have a dashboard that starts to show all of us in this space, county by county, what programs we're funding, so we can really have a deeper knowledge of where our funding is going. And then, of course, there are the fiscal realities that we're going to be facing. And so I just wanted to spend a minute with you all kind of talking about, even just in the last month, how that picture continues to change, to give you some fodder to think about, and I might urge you to use some of your moral authority as we go through this next year. So I shared last time the number one source of revenue that supports the whole substance use disorder system. So again, from that primary prevention to treatment or recovery and harm reduction is federal funding. I think we all know that that picture is changing rapidly. And our plan is to stay very flexible with that and to continue to prioritize recommendations that will prioritize things that really work across the continuum of care. You may have heard that we did already have a termination of some federal funding in this space through the Oregon Health Authority. Our very busy Attorney General Dan Rayfield joined other states in suing over that. We do have a temporary restraining order, but I can say just from particularly a lot of the culturally specific providers who we work with across the state, that is already affecting services on the ground. It was one-time funding that in some cases is standing up things where we did not have services before. So the health authority is working diligently with our community-based organizations and providers to figure that out. There are potential state agency layoffs that could happen with that. So things are starting to get real in that space. That is not something that we can control, but something that we have to take into consideration. The second largest source of revenue for the substance use disorder system is cannabis revenue, as I'm sure you all know, which through Measure 110 funds behavioral health resource networks across the state. That funding is also decreasing for reasons that you all, I'm sure, understand better than I, with pricing continuing to go down. So that is a shrinking revenue source that has been really hard for county planning and continuity of services that were stood up. And then the third largest, of course, is general fund. And again, in your space, there are declining revenues in this space too. Alcohol revenue is decreasing. I'm trying to think. Well, I mean, we'll have the revenue forecast in a few weeks, but I'm not quite touching on any good news, unfortunately. Cat tax is down. We have a hole in our education budget. So I share all of this with you, not to paint a dire picture, but really rather to urge you all. You have this tremendous power. There are, and this goes back a little to where I started with the parental permission and thinking about what we all have control over. You all have control over this tiny little piece of the budget. And it's not going to solve all of our problems, but it is one thing that we can actually control, that you all control. And I really want to urge you today to one, I know this is a tough decision. I know you have a lot of pros and cons that you weigh as you go into this. If you all do continue the surcharge, I think you, need to take the win. It's a big deal what you guys do. And I think sometimes it goes unnoticed that you all control this. It is a public health measure, being in a control system and controlling price. What you do is a public health measure for us as a state. And it's why we very much support the control model. But also I want to urge you, and I might be going too far here, but to use your moral authority. If you're going to take this step and you're going to provide additional funding to the state, you have a moral authority to ask the state, especially as we move through these changes, to really prioritize that the funding is used.
Emily, may I
Yeah.
interrupt you?
Yeah, sure.
Because,
Oh my God.
yeah, I mean, I don't like using moral authority. Because my question is, the legislative session is going on right now. Have you been to the legislative session on beer, wine? Let's see what else, marijuana? This is taxing. What you're asking us to do is to unfairly target one piece of a very large pie. And I don't see anybody else. We're 7 or 9 people up here. There are elected officials out there that have the power to do what we can do here today. And that can do other things, marijuana, beer. I mean, I don't like being put in this authority that it's our moral authority today, because the last testimony we heard last month, they used, it is a catastrophic crisis in Oregon. We are at a catastrophic crisis in Oregon for recovery. That's the term that they used. And yet we have the top 3, top 2 most expensive liquor in the country. There's no correlation, or very little correlation, because he also said we are at the top of the states for misusing it. So it doesn't seem to me, and anecdotally, I'll tell you, I live in Eastern Oregon, and over the 8 years of serving, 8 years in serving, access to recovery has gone down. And this tax has been in place for 15 years and or more than 15 years. We have had this tax to try and help make Oregon a #1 recovery place. The point I'm trying to make is, I keep hearing people say, vote so we can get more money for recovery because it sounds good. But I'm looking at the statistic, and that's just not true. It's not true. Throwing more money at this is not working, and it's unfairly targeting these small distillers, these small businesses out of a whole part of other vices that are in our authority to dictate. It was supposed to be temporary. It's done, it's run its course. But I guess that's more of a statement to you. I don't know. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's our moral authority today to vote for a surcharge that tax these small businesses. I would argue it's a moral authority to relieve these small businesses of something they were promised with sunset years ago, over a decade ago.
And if I can just respond briefly, again, I understand you have a lot to weigh in front of you. The beer wine tax isn't in front of us today. There is legislation. I think Representative Sanchez would agree with you very much so. I think politically she faces hard times. I think what I'm asking all of you is this frustration that you feel. Let's join together and rise that up, because whether the surcharge continues or not, the funding that does come from distilled spirits, it doesn't go to the system. And I think we have an opportunity, and this is the moral authority, like, you all do the revenue. I'm over here trying to make sure that we make sure it goes to the right places. And I think we have an opportunity. I also co-chair the opioid settlement board, and maybe moral authority isn't the right way to put it, but they have less than half of the opioid settlement funding in the state. And so we have set a tone, let's call it, for the local settlement boards to prioritize that funding across the continuum of care. We now have alcohol and drug prevention in every county in Eastern Oregon, which we didn't have before. It took that board to do that. So I think you all have a tremendous power. I don't envy you on your decision, because you do have to weigh these really, really tough things. I think I'm here to assure you and maybe implore you to join us in making sure that this funding starts to go where it needs to go statewide. And I agree with you completely, that we have neglected Eastern Oregon by far, Southern Oregon and the coast. And the settlement board has actually prioritized all those areas. So I think we have an opportunity to start to turn the ship around. And if you do pass this, I think you can put, like, it gives you more reason to express your frustration in the system, and that we have to improve the system.
Chair,
Thank you.
Commissioner?
Emily, thank you. So I do agree with Commissioner Curran. I am sensitive to your needs, and I do recognize that, and we all know that federal funding is, cuts are affecting all of us to a degree. But I think that we should all, commissioners and the agency should consider non-legislative options that might not have been explored to find funds for whatever gaps there might be. I think that's a fair option too. And maybe Chair Doherty can collaborate with you and others at Director Prinz and Deputy Director to find other solutions and remedies for this shortfall. I think that's a good idea.
Commissioner?
Emily, thank you so much for being here, and I appreciate your passion for which you share this information. As a new commissioner, can you tell me, of all of the sources of funding that you receive, what percentage actually goes to the programs for care, education, rehabilitation? What percentage of those funding or those funds actually go to administrative or salaries or what's the cost breakdown?
So the ADPC itself, we don't have programs. We do research and studies, et cetera. We're a tiny little group. I have seven. I don't know the answer across. I think you're asking about across the system. We do have a financial analysis that was contracted for the state just this past year that I wouldn't say necessarily effectively does a great job at getting that, because in some agencies, the funding just goes to staff who are providing technical assistance, et cetera, and they left that out. I can say from the programs that I see, that's usually 5 to 10% is usually the cap. So like settlement board funding is capped at 5%. 110 has a cap for OHA for their admin funding. So I don't know that off the top of my head, and I don't know that we know that for every program, I'll be honest.
So we're asking for these funds to continue, and we don't know the disposition of them.
Oh, no, I thought you were just asking about the percentage of admin.
The percentage of all of the funds that are received, whether it's federal, you said cannabis or the general funds.
Yes.
So all of these funds that go to support these programs that you're impassioned for, yeah. Of that money that comes in, how much of it goes out to those programs?
Oh, I see what you're saying. So that would be 90 to 95%. Yeah. that's your question, like how much, if admin is kept at 5 to 10, so 90 to 95% is going to grants. If that makes sense.
So if 90 to 95% is going to programs, then how is it that Eastern Oregon is not seeing funds for those programs, or is not being able to take advantage of those programs?
So I mean, I don't unfortunately have a county by county picture now. That's something that we're hoping to build for the state. I mean, I'm right, like this is something that historically has been a problem. And so I agree with you 100%. There are new funds. I can speak to the settlement board funds and say that those are going to Eastern Oregon, and I'm happy to give the examples of all the funding that for that one tiny funding stream. We have that information for cannabis revenue. So for the cannabis revenue, we know county by county where all of that goes to and what category it goes to. And that information is available on the Oregon Health Authority website. We have that information for settlement. So it depends a little bit. All the CJC funding, we would have that. We just don't have it all in one place.
I think that's important, though, what Commissioner Warren is asking for. I think that's really important for a consideration.
I agree. That's what we're hoping to build over the next few years for us all.
In 15 years though.
I can't believe that. Sorry.
Annalise, you did talk about, it's not just Eastern Oregon, but there's some other areas that I'm just thinking you wanted to focus on. That were underserved right now that you're pushing to get more service in.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think, again, taking a statewide approach, I'll just keep rolling with the settlement board example and how we've prioritized other areas of the state. So setting like real-time and distance standards is one example. So in the treatment bucket, the opioid settlement board funded opioid treatment programs and prioritized outside of the metro area. Although the metro area certainly does need more on a per population basis, we have great swaths of the state, and that is a service that you legally are required to go into. And so set a goal to bring all populations in the state within 15 to 50 minutes. And yes, 50 minutes is still too long. And non-emergency medical transportation is very hard to access. But that is a start. And so the settlement board funded 12 new opioid treatment programs. And 9 of them are outside of the metro area, Tri-County area. In Eastern Oregon, Southern Oregon, and on the coast, and some mid-Willamette Valley, so a little bit more. The first of those opened last month in Redmond, and the remaining are under contract through OHA. So that's one example. The alcohol and drug prevention programs, that is something that in the past, there are federal grants that go directly to locals, but it's been federal block grant funding that OHA allocates. I don't yet know, I can't tell you off the top of my head how they did that under their prior formula, but not every county had alcohol and drug prevention funding. So the settlement board filled that gap. So it does take a more careful analysis. I hear everyone's frustration, and trust me, I share it. My job would look a lot differently if we had this data, and we had this picture of where our money's going. I love that you're asking these questions. I think this is an opportunity for us to push together to have more of this transparency about where our funding is going.
Director, I just had a quick circle back on the moral authority argument. I am persuasive that this commission has some moral authority in connection with the surcharge. And that's because we're balancing business interests as a partner to business, but we're also in this to protect the public. And so in that combination, it's different than looking at just profit margin. We're trying to do what's right in this position to protect the public and support those Oregon businesses. And so I do feel like the statute does afford us with that kind of authority in connection with making the surcharge extend to protect the people of Oregon. I am receptive to the idea that surcharges may target those folks that produce liquor, but there are impacts on liquor that we see throughout Oregon. So we need to be able to balance that. And so I would just suggest that I am receptive to that idea, that we do carry a decision that comes with some moral authority about how it is that we're going to move forward in Oregon. And I do understand that one of the compelling arguments is, well, this was temporary. But that doesn't really, it's not dispositive today to me, because what we're facing now are cutbacks at the federal level that are going to probably be temporary. So we're adjusting to how it is that we can protect those people in Oregon that are not consumers and are consumers, and being fair to those small businesses. So it is a very difficult decision. I think it does come with some moral authority. Is that part of where you were coming from?
And I respect very much all that you have to weigh and how hard this decision is, but do urge you to think about with that power, the power that you have to make some suggestions about where the money goes in the future and how we prioritize.
Thank you.
Chair,
Commissioner?
I just want to voice that this is a little, I'm a little disappointed in the way, Annalise, I do appreciate you being here. I always love listening to you, and hearing your thought. I thought we were just going to be up here listening to alcohol awareness, because it's Alcohol Awareness April.
Yes.
How we segued into this surcharge is it's quite disappointing to me. And it almost seems like, we brought you here to have the last word, which isn't
Yes.
fair, I want to say, to the industry that I represent. And, we should have maybe had some of our stakeholders here also, Orla, Distillers Guild, so that they can also weigh in on their thoughts on this surcharge. Morally, I don't have a good conscience to vote on something here 15 plus years later that was temporary. And this is the third time since I've sat in this seat where I have had to vote on this. And every single time there is an overwhelming majority of folks that are just outright enraged on this surcharge, this temporary surcharge, and are in opposition of it. So I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate your position, and I appreciate you, but I wish we would have just stuck to the alcohol awareness message.
Yes.
And not segue to the surcharge.
And I do want to comment, that's what, I was like, what, all of a sudden I'm listening to this, I was very excited to hear Alcohol Awareness Month, we can get behind that. And what triggered, I think, my frustration was, it's shifting into the 50 cents. We don't have anybody in here, it looks like we're being set in a position that is pointing us in one direction instead of it being a fair and unbiased presentation and message. And so I would have liked to have kept on target with what are we going to do Alcohol Awareness Month instead of the 50 cents. So,
Annalise, thank you very much. Art, do we have a-
Can I just ask one question?
Suzanne, hold on, I didn't see her. Commissioner Glenn,
Thank you, Chair Doherty. Annalise, can you tell me, doesn't the surcharge go to the general fund and is not dedicated to addiction treatment services? Am I wrong in thinking that?
No, you're correct, Commissioner Glenn. And that, I think that was my point that I was making, that if you are going to pass the surcharge, that it does go into the general fund. And I do think that you, with that power, have the ability to set some direction for priorities you'd like to see for the state. But I think that was overstepping, so I apologize.
Annalise, of all the funding you get, again, how much of it comes from the general fund for treatment?
Okay, I do not have the
Oh,
percentage.
I thought it was something like
It's about
30% or something.
Yeah, it's about a third that comes from the general fund.
Yeah, of all your funds comes from that, so, okay. Anything else?
Alicia had her hand up too. and I don't
Oh,
know.
Alicia, I didn't see your hand up there, sorry.
That's okay. I think well, all I wanted to make, well, I had a number of points throughout the conversation, but one, there was a lot of question about if she could tell you how much goes directly to services and so forth. I could tell you, as it comes to the county, every county could tease that out for you in a heartbeat. They know where it goes, and when they do the contracts, they know. So it's not just going out there. That's kind of how it got left. I will say, obviously, these prevention funds and these treatment funds are critical to communities, as I witnessed in my past role. So again, I just felt like there was a feeling that people couldn't track it, and I don't expect Annalise is going to be the one that can, but if you ask any county, they can. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anything else? Annalise, thank you very much. Very well done. Appreciate it. And is Colin on? Is it? Next here.
I am. Good
Hey.
morning. Good morning, Chair Dougherty, members of the commission. For the record, my name is Colin Nealand. I'm the Chief Financial Officer for the agency, and it's a pleasure to be with you all today. And I'm here today going over current biennium, so a 2023-25 financial update, focused in particular to take a look at how we are doing on liquor sales and also cases. So I wanted to share that information with all of you, and then also provide some information regarding the debt service that we're looking at as we head into the future biennia, so that you have that information in front of you today. And then, of course, happy to answer any questions that you might have as well. And so we'll go ahead and get started. And the first place I wanted to start today was to really just take a look at some historical context for liquor sales revenue. And there's a lot of history that people that have gone before me here at OLCC have done an amazing job of keeping track of this information. And what I really wanted to draw your attention to is that we're going to be talking this morning about how liquor sales are trending downward. Back when we did our Ways and Means presentation to the legislature in early February, at that point, we were talking about liquor sales trending about 2.5% down in this fiscal year compared to the prior fiscal year. Now, with updated information through March, we're trending closer to being down about 3% in the current fiscal year compared to the last fiscal year. But in talking about that, it's easy to say that, you know, liquor sales are declining, but I wanted to also set some context for you all so that you could see that while liquor sales are declining, they're not falling off a cliff. You know, the comparison that I would draw is that we're seeing that based on the most recent information from March, we're probably trending back towards an area of having fiscal year gross sales around $800 million, which would be comparable to where we were back in 2021. So you can see in the upper right-hand corner of this chart, you can see that's not near the peak of where we were, but also not, you know, coming down, you know, just crashing, if you will. It's not doing that. It's more trending downward for year over year from what we're seeing. And this chart is one that we've been looking at. I have a couple of charts that we'll be taking a look at that you've seen before, just an update to show liquor sales in dollars. This goes all the way back to July of 2021. And so you can see just, you know, how that trends visually from a chart perspective. I have a couple of tables that I'll be showing as well, just to provide a little more granular detail for the commission this morning. And what I can share with you, because I know sometimes this information can be a little hard to sift through what we're trying to show, is what I would share with you is that in the current fiscal year, we're 9 months into the 12 months for the current fiscal year. We have been down in a dollars perspective in sales 6 months out of the last 9 months. And so that's what this is helping to illustrate. And out of those 6 months, the last 4 months have been trending downwards. And this is another way to look at that same type of information. I didn't want to overwhelm the commission with just a million different numbers. So I tried to hone in to just taking a look at the last 3 fiscal years and then just the change that you can see from that. And so at the right of this table, when you can see that in December of this fiscal year, we were down about 5%. And then you can see in January, February, and March, how we were trending compared to the prior fiscal year. And then at the bottom right-hand corner of this table, you can see that that's the 3% in sales in dollars that I was referring to earlier, where that's how we're trending currently. The prior year from that was down about 2% from really what was the high watermark that we saw during COVID, which was in fiscal year 23. And that's what you can see at the totals kind of walking across the bottom from left to right, where you can see fiscal year 23 was about 847 million in gross sales. Fiscal year 24, closer to about 827 million. And here in fiscal year 25, which will end June of 2025, we look like we're trending to be closer to about 800 million, which is similar to about where we were back in fiscal year 2021. And then this is one way to look at it in dollars. Another way to look at this is in cases. And so this is also some information that we've looked at before. I wanted to update the commission with. And what we actually see here is the same type of trend we were looking at previously, but liquor cases actually shows an even more illustrative picture, is that liquor sales in cases have actually been down every month since March of 2024. And that's what this table illustrates, is that you can look over at the far right and you can see, comparing the month in the current fiscal year to the prior fiscal year, we're just trending downward. Again, not falling off a cliff. You know, we're 3% overall this fiscal year, and you know, roughly the same from the prior fiscal year. So it's not that things are crashing, but it is trending downward. And that's just information that we wanted to share with you all today, so that you had this at your fingertips and could evaluate it. And of course, can answer any questions that you might have. And then what we also wanted to share with you, with the commission, was our most recent revenue forecast for the next biennium. The total distribution that was projected at that time was $502 million. That's without the surcharge, of course, because the commission has not taken any action on that for the next biennium when we did our last revenue forecast. And so therefore we don't include it. It would be included if the surcharge was passed, but it of course would not, depending on what action the commission takes. But this is just so you could see a breakdown between what was estimated for the general fund in the next biennium, as well as counties, cities, and then the transfer we make to Oregon Health Authority for mental health, alcoholism, and drug services. And then of course, the Oregon Wine Board. We will be updating this revenue forecast again in early May. And based on what we're seeing today and the information we were just showing with you all, I would anticipate that this forecast will likely be lower in May if everything else held constant, just based on the information that we're seeing, where initially I was thinking that we would begin to flatten out and level out in this biennium, and that just hasn't quite proven to be true. We're down slightly around that 2 and 3% range, and we just haven't quite found that bottom yet. And so looking to update the forecast to reflect that will be one of the things that the agency will be working on here as part of the updated May revenue forecast. And then the last information I wanted to share with you all this morning was some debt service that you can see. Of course, we are making legacy investments in our warehouse, in our material handling system, and our IT system modernizations. And so what you can see in this table is that it goes across the biennium. So you can look at where we've been for the last two biennia in 21, 23, and 23, 25, and then where we are expecting to go. And that's also broken down by our three capital projects: the warehouse, the conveyor, or what we like to call the material handling system, and our IT modernization. And I would note for the commission that this information is slightly dated. We need to update it for the additional funding that was recommended for our IT modernization back in the governor's budget to add another $8 million to our distilled spirit supply chain project. But this gives you a fairly good overview of the increases in costs the agency will be looking at from a debt service perspective as we move forward into the next biennium and as we look to pay off that debt service. Of course, a component of this that will ultimately be a policy decision that Director Prinz and you all will be navigating will be the sale of the current headquarters and warehouse. Going back to 2022, the net estimate at the time that we had was that would generate about $28 million that could be applied towards this debt service. And of course, the policy decision there would be, would those proceeds be applied all at once to one biennium's debt service? You can kind of see how that would basically negate the debt service in one biennium. Or another choice that will be in front of people will be that it could be, those proceeds could be applied to one particular project and look to lessen the debt service that would be paid each biennia. And of course, that would, there are pros and cons to both of those approaches. And so that concludes the presentation that I had for you today, and just wanted to see if there's any questions that I can answer for the commission.
Sure. Colin, thank you. Is this your last meeting with us, Colin?
This is my last meeting. I was waiting to say that because I wanted to get through that information, but yes, I've made the difficult decision. I shared with Craig and Tara that I'm going to be resigning my position with the agency to be able to focus more on the needs that my family has. And I really appreciate the opportunity to serve the commission over the last 3 years. And it's been my pleasure. And I just can't say enough how much I've appreciated the opportunity to work and serve you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Give
much.
a virtual, Colin, I noticed you wore black today, so Tara and I and everyone, you have a lot of staff here. You can't see in the room. You can see the commissioners. On behalf of everyone here in the room, I want to say thank you for your service to the OLCC. Thank you for how diligently you worked for this agency. We know that you've taken that service very, very much to heart. And we also know that you're carrying a lot personally. And so I just wanted to say, on behalf of everyone in the room, we really appreciate you. And we wish you the very best luck moving forward.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Much appreciated. You're in our thoughts and our hearts.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we have before us a obviously very difficult issue, and in order for us to discuss this, we'll first need a motion.
Chair,
Yes.
I would like to make a motion.
Okay.
If that's okay. I would like to make a motion to terminate the surcharge, the 50-cent surcharge through the 2025-2027 biennium. I realize that it may not pass, but I do want to make that motion on behalf of the small distillers out there. And I want to say this, but we're listening to this for 8 years now as I've been serving on this. I heard at the last meeting that we are at a catastrophic crisis in Oregon for recovery and treatment. I also heard that we have a huge issue with abusing alcohol, opioids, marijuana, and the like, and many different substances. And we are not a state that is doing well in that category. This tax has already been in place for 15 years, and this is not setting prices. This is a tax. It is a surcharge. That's what it's called. If we wanted to raise prices, then we could raise prices. But this is a surcharge. It was used, the words temporary and emergency, when we were in a very bad recession at the time and needed to fill a gap at the time, not for extra spending. It was an emergency at the time that it was used. You know, talking about this, there is not a lot of correlation. Raising this 50 cents is going to unlikely have, it's going to have very little to no correlation in decreasing alcohol sales. And that's just from what we've heard, where Oregon ranks. We are high on the list of not having very good recovery centers, and this has been in place for 15 years. And throwing more money at this is not how we deal with that problem. I think it's unfair, and this is an unfair target on liquor, because opioids, as you heard, a lot of this, we have opioid centers. Why are our small business distillers paying for new opioid centers? Why aren't we, I mean, and the answer is truthfully, that beer, wine, and prescription drug companies have better lobbies. And we're the easiest targets. That's the simplest answer. So I think it's an unfair target of these distillers. There are other ways to raise money instead of coming to us. Go to the legislature, get this money if you need it. The bottom line is it's not needed. We got kickers last year. We got kickers because we had a surplus last year. And projection about there might be federal money that we might be losing. Well, let's not keep a tax on small businesses based on speculation. And I do want to address, because I didn't think I would be as vocal as I was today, but I was very upset by the use of, we have a moral obligation today, because I see it very differently. I've always thought public safety is very important, and that's part of our job. But we have a moral obligation to do in government what we say we're going to do. We said this was a temporary emergency matter. It was used for that purpose and has been continued to go for matters that we don't need it for. I've been disappointed that we didn't try and compromise on a 25% number, but I'll just say, morally speaking, we do have, I understand what she was trying to say. Keeping the surcharge on will lower liquor prices, but there's just no statistical background to that. And I can't vote on that. And I can't continue to hammer these small businesses who are, coming in and saying, this is making it difficult for me to stay in business. And that is not the message that we want to say. And we do not want to put that burden on a few in this state. And so I would move to terminate the surcharge through the 2025-2027 biennium.
We have more discussion or?
Yeah, we'll have a second. Is there a second?
I'll second.
A second, and let's have some more discussion here.
I don't disagree with anything you said. I mean, we've had years of this. I've never voted for a new surcharge. I have never not voted for this one. To me, it always just seemed like, it's it's a price of admission to a certain degree. But I can't vote for this, or I can't vote against this without there being a coherent work group, a plan, a definitive way to look at this, because the through line here is that we want to protect is the small Oregon-based businesses. And unless we've got some sort of literal work group set today, and I know we've discussed that, but literally a plan to because this isn't pricing, this is a surcharge, and it's whatever that looks like, it can't continue as this sort of temporary surcharge. So is there any, I don't know, Chair, do you have any thought on work group, on
I
anything
do,
like that?
I do, but finish, anybody else want to have discussion, then I'll, my peace of mind is. And then, Matt, Chairman, just thank you very much.
Chair Doherty,
Yes,
Chair Doherty, I'm new to this commission and I would agree that a 15-year temporary charge is not a great thing. I would also say that this is not the time to make changes to this. I would disagree also about a surplus from last year. The kicker doesn't have anything to do with surplus. It's about the economic forecast. The state is in desperate need of money right now, both for the general fund and for addiction treatment services. So the timing of this is just terrible.
thank you, Commissioner Green. Any other? Yeah, this is definitely the spot where we're dealing with two issues here. And the moral authority, what we talk about is the public health and safety, and we also have an obligation to the businesses under our purview. And let me start with the public health and safety. I said, as has been brought up here, we're the third largest provider of revenue to the state and a critical source of support for substance abuse and treatment across the full continuum of care. The state general fund is the third largest provider of funding for addiction treatment services. So when I first came in here, I was thinking this money that's going in there from this surcharge was just going into the general fund, and it was not an impact. As an alcoholic, I have a particular view on this thing, so I apologize for that, but I find it valuable. The top priority for the governor, though, in this administration is drug and addiction services. So I have some confidence that the money going into the general fund will go to the right place. I agree that I don't find that the accountability where I'd like to see it, and maybe we can do something about that. But dropping the surcharge would further diminish the funds that are dedicated to addiction and recovery. These funds continue to be at risk. As OLCC continues to improve its service to Oregonians with a new warehouse, the distilled spirit supply chain modernization, our debt service will increase from 4.3 to $29 million. In February of 23, we forecast our contribution, as Colin so well pointed out, to be over 700 million, I believe it was, and it's now dropped by 29%. So our contribution will be decline of over $200 million to the general fund. In addition to these declining revenue trends, we're also facing significant uncertainty at the federal level. We've got, I think, Oregon Health Authority just lost $117 million, and they're a big provider of these services. Well, and we don't know where the tariffs are going to go. I don't think they're going in a positive direction. We don't know how tariffs are going to affect this industry. So that's public health and safety, and we also support the success of responsible businesses under our purview. So we've got both of these, this tug of war going on. So to honor our commitment to the success of the businesses we oversee and the promise made at the time this surcharge was put in place, that it was temporary, I've tasked Director Prinz and Deputy Director Wasiak to engage in consultants to find the funds to replace this surcharge so that we can honor our commitment from 10 years or 15 years ago. And to that end, I've asked Commissioner Melitas if he would head up a task force to accomplish this so we can find the funding elsewhere and relieve these businesses of this surcharge. And so that's my take on this. Anything else?
Why no compromise with as Karen said, from 50 cent to 25%?
That's what I think we're gonna try to do. I mean, I don't know we can do it now, but this is as good as it gets.
We can do it now. We can do it now. We really can. We can do it now.
Well, we have a motion on the table.
Yeah.
And
Right now,
it's
it's
seconded, and we've said our piece here. I'm hoping to get rid of it entirely, not have it 25%. So my hope is at the end of this that we can find the funding and get rid of the 50 cents entirely. and relieve these businesses of that burden.
But why not a 25% compromise if Commissioner Kern said that's something that's possible and raise the prices of other services within the agency?
I don't know that we have the information to do that right now. But what that impact would be, we'd have to do some more work on that. I would rather get rid of it completely if we can. Once we do that, I'd rather have the information that we get from this study that we're going to do. We're hiring outside consultants to find the funding within to get rid of it in its entirety. But I think doing it,
Question when you get a chance.
pardon? Go ahead, as Commissioner.
So I just need some clarity here. We have a motion on the floor. It was spoken about before it was seconded, then it was seconded. Right now, you're talking about direction you as the chair gave to staff, but are you planning to put that in a motion or has that already been done? Because I would assume that would go in a motion, depending on how this motion moved forward. Just need a point of order on this.
Okay, so
So we vote on Jennifer's, you make a motion for the task force and then make a motion for the surcharge.
does that work here? All right, I don't know how to word that thing, but let's.
As we do Jennifer's.
Can I also do another point of order that I would appreciate, which is when you make a motion, you don't speak on it until you have a second. And then you as a person who makes the motion has the first chance to speak on the motion. So
Okay.
please keep that in mind if you choose to make a motion. Thank you.
But I'm confused though, because I would be open to a compromise, but now that motion's been seconded, and so it seems like there's no where to go with it.
There is a place to go. You could ask, I'm sorry, can I continue? Or are you good, Chair? You could ask for a friendly, I mean, she has moved that it goes away. If you want to ask her to change that motion or for a friendly amendment, you could. So that's where you have a voice.
Chair,
Yes,
thank you. Once you have a motion and a second, the process would be to ask for discussion, to make sure everybody has provided the discussion, ask if there's any more discussion before the vote is called. If indeed the discussion leads the group to want to ask for a friendly amendment from the motion maker, they may, or the group could vote on the motion made and entertain further motions after that vote is taken, if they choose to do so.
so would you be willing to amend the motion to? How would that read?
Could we
Can
do,
I?
It depends what the friendly
You said the
amendment.
latter. I
If
think
this
the
is
latter.
denied, can I make another motion for 25 cents?
Yes.
well,
Or not even that, maybe just what Chair is saying, and that is to discussion, further discussion on where we can carve out.
Hundreds. Carve out a amendment.
So explain to me again, how does this work?
We're gonna move forward,
Move forward with, on the vote on this.
vote on this.
Yeah,
And
okay.
then afterwards,
We'll
what was
make-
the latter suggestion?
another-
That we can
So there
make
are two
another
options. After you've had a motion and a second, and you've had discussion and called for a vote. If the vote disposes of the motion, you're back at square one.
Okay,
And you could entertain another motion and a second and discussion.
the original
Have a
motion that was
different
on,
vote.
that was on here, would we go back to that original motion to?
Whatever motion
Move for
a
25
board member would like to
But
make.
but it would be, there'd be a condition that 25% compromise with the understanding that termination would follow
What's it?
right after.
I would be willing to. amend that.
Okay.
Um,
I just said that 25% compromise with the understanding that the 50% tax, 50-cent tax, would go away
I think,
right after.
I think
If that
there's,
was, so that will that'll compromise, that'll give funding for treatment, et cetera. And then also the businesses will know that there's an end to the story.
I think that there's, there's other issues as well besides just the surcharge. We've got the $1.40, fee, we've got a lot of things that we can, where in totality, I think looking at all of this, like, I don't know that we can solve all this today. I mean, maybe we can get some compromise. I don't know if the votes are there or whatever. All I know is that there's enough on the table that if we have a task force and it is actually voted on, and we actually have a firm date set to do that, we can parse through this and get this right and do it surgically, as opposed to what we've been doing, just this, 50 cents every couple of years and then kicking it down the road. That to me seems like I think I don't know that we don't vote in the surcharge today. I don't know how that's going to work. I think the best shot we've got at dealing with this is to set the agenda item for the task force and for everything you're talking about, to essentially get this right, because you're right. This has gone on too long, but we don't have a clear pathway forward, and there's a lot riding on it. So I don't know, short of making a motion or altering the motion for a task force and putting on record all of the concerns that you've got and where we want to get it to, that we're going to get much better than that. I don't know that we're going to be able to get the votes to just get to 25 cents today. I'd love that, but I just don't know that that's the case. So I think
If we don't move to extend it, will it just expire?
if we don't move to extend it, I don't.
I think that,
Say that again.
I think we need to vote to extend it or it'll expire, but what we need to do is
Move forward with the.
this,
motion.
with this
Yeah.
motion, it's been moved and seconded.
Chair, if I
Yes.
might, would you like Laura to read the motion back to the group to refresh your memories?
Yes. That's fine.
Okay. Commissioner Curran moved to terminate the surcharge for the 2025 to 27 biennium. Commissioner Jipong Porter seconded the motion.
All right,
If I was to make a suggestion, I would say, and this is just my suggestion, if we could rescind that and make a motion or a task force, mention all the concerns you've got on the record here today, so it's on record, and then we adopt the task force, and then it's on record, and we work on it. And I'm committed to doing it. I'm committed to getting it right. So
I appreciate that, Matt, but I also know realistically, and I have enjoyed, I enjoy this as, I consider you a friend, but when it comes down to keeping things on the court, basketball court, trying to keep things business here. Avoiding a vote today means that 3 of us are going off and 3 new people are coming on who aren't going to have that institutional knowledge. I think we need to take a vote today.
Yeah.
Because we're here, we have the institutional knowledge. And I think we keep hearing from people that it's just not right. Nobody's doing anything to help out. And I agree with you, task force is great. I would be willing, I was hoping that it would go away completely, but I do think that there could be some it would be a very good compromise to lower it by 50%. And start phasing that out. And that could be one way of addressing this, because I think that both sides are seeing that there hasn't been enough done. There hasn't been enough information given to us as to why this is going to move forward. And both sides are saying, Eastern Oregon rural areas are being served like they should be. But and so I'm not sure that this 50-cent surcharge is the answer to that. So I would be willing to call this a friendly amendment to my motion to terminate, to say that we would reduce the temporary surcharge by 50%. I think that's the best way to say it, by 50%.
Second.
and we have a second.
And I would second that.
And now we discuss.
Any further discussion?
I would just suggest that if the federal cuts are 100% and our cut to the surcharge is 50%, maybe the math doesn't work out in a fair way in connection with protecting the public. But I feel like this task force idea is fantastic for us to get those particularized facts about how this surcharge is impacting public health and how and where. And, Commissioner made an important point that, well, is opiate treatment related to alcohol treatment? Maybe it's dual diagnosis. We don't know this kind of information, which is what we're trying to do with this task force.
All right, thank you.
Commissioner Hayes.
Anybody else?
Commissioner Hayes has that question.
Commissioner Hayes. All right.
Oh, there we go. So I don't see being able to support this because we have another option on the table that I heard from the chair, which is a more thoughtful, detailed way of looking at how to solve this problem than just slashing it and moving forward, to really take a look at it. So while I appreciate what everybody's trying to do, I'm very interested in more information, and hopefully we'll have the chance to vote on the recommendations that the chair has made. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Glenn?
I just want to make clear that I think we would be doing a huge disservice to the people of Oregon by slashing this funding at this time. There's an unprecedented need, and this is not the time to do this. I could support a commission to look at it, but I can't support the motion as it stands.
Right. Thank you, Commissioner Glenn.
Chair, I would just respond to that respectfully that we're 15 years into this. We've had these conversations for the last 8 years since I've been here. And now on the day of, I'm hearing for the first time, I've had no outreach. I just want the record to reflect that from the executive director, from the chair, from anybody about a task force. And it does seem to me to say that this is just an item to pass this down, pass the buck down until there are 3 new appointees in our seat. That is the only thing that I can think of, because it wasn't even brought to me as an idea of something that we could consider. And so it is falling on my deaf ears here, because we could have done this years ago, months ago, had shown me that there was some actual effort into going into this, because this has been an issue for many, many years. And I think the state is going to be fine if we cut the surcharge by 50%. It is a good compromise. And it is recognizing that we have competing interests that we need to serve the small businesses, which have been under this burden for far too long. And we can do something about it and also work to get rid of it. There are other ways. We're in legislative session. It may be too late, but I do believe that there's other ways to cut funding. But I definitely don't want to put a surcharge on liquor when on the if federal funding may not be coming in. I want to deal with the facts as we know them right now. It's been too long. 50% cut in a surcharge is a good compromise. And I think it really is what would be good to show both sides of this.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. Any other comments? Shall we?
Generally recommend rereading the motion before you call for a vote.
All right.
Should you read the first one and the?
Nope, just the.
Okay. Commissioner Curran moved to reduce the temporary surcharge by 50%, and that was seconded by Commissioner Jean-Claude.
Grab the vote, please.
Commissioner Chowry,
No.
Commissioner Curran,
Yes.
Commissioner Floyd,
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn,
No.
Commissioner Japon Porter,
Yeah.
Commissioner Hayes,
No.
Commissioner Melitas,
Abstain.
Do you generally allow abstentions?
we have, there's a conflict.
Yeah, so we need to find out if there's.
I'm conflicted emotion.
Is there a conflict?
There's a no.
So wait, clarify, was that his vote or the answer?
Which-
was not?
Mhm.
Is that your vote?
Sure, no.
No.
Commissioner Warren?
Yes.
Commissioner Doherty?
No.
So the motion passes.
Like
No.
a fourth.
2, 3, 4, 5. Motion.
I have.
You're right. I said it wrong
Okay.
in my head. Yes. The motion does not pass.
The motion does not pass.
Yes.
Okay, can we make a motion for a task force including everything, Jennifer discussed, everything Deanna discussed and Faye discussed and to look at those issues, to look at how we look out for our small distillers, our organ-based businesses, sorry, motion notes. To look at how to end this after a decade, look at things such as the $1.40 case fee surcharge, the looming uncertainties of tariffs, and yeah, the limiting of the impact to our licensees. Can we look at a task force?
What's the
Yeah,
task force gonna do?
the
That's
task,
what I wanna know. What's the task force?
The
gonna do?
task force is intended to remove the surcharge. Find the funding elsewhere.
Within this agency?
within this,
We're gonna find it within this agency?
They're just gonna vote on it next month and get this or
Yeah.
put in place. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean,
well, no, I think we still have to vote on the surcharge today. Like, we can still vote on the surcharge today. I'm putting.
So I'm so sorry. Could we clarify what the motion is and see if you have a second?
Okay,
Thank you.
the motion I'm trying to make is to, like Chair Doherty said, task force to look at, I'm not saying to take the existing motion that's on the agenda off. I think we still need to vote on that today.
Mhm.
But what,
There is no motion.
Yeah.
This is the only motion right now before the board.
Right.
well,
there's
no,
another one.
but the surcharge is still on the agenda.
It's on the agenda, it is not
Gotcha.
before the board. It is a suggested motion for the board to consider on the agenda. The only motion right now on the floor is the motion you are making, Commissioner.
I think
Well-
before we vote on that one, in good conscience, and that's what I'm trying to say, is I'd like to get the surcharge, or I'd like to get the task force on the record so that it at least is an action that we're taking to try to mitigate some of this. before
Can
we
we
vote
add
on the
that
50
to
cents.
the other motion?
You can make any motion you want.
All right, so what I'm suggesting is we take the surcharge motion and add to it what Commissioner Melitas is wanting to put on there. Can we do that?
If I might, you may make multi-part motions. It also is makes it more difficult for people to vote on it if they don't agree with one part.
Gotcha. Okay.
But multi-part motions are completely acceptable. And after Commissioner Melitas is done with his motion, I suggest we make sure that everybody is on the same page about what the actual motion
Okay.
is.
So Dennis, are you saying you want to do the 50-cent surcharge and task force in the same motion?
Well, now that I hear that we can do them
That's-
separately, so I'd like to do
They
it.
do
as-
them together, whichever.
Well, I'd like to do them together if everybody's clear on it.
I would
Well-
propose, I like the idea of a task force.
Yeah.
So I would propose that we take it separately.
Okay, that's fine. And I make a motion to set the task force.
Chair, I would second the motion.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
How many
If I
people
may,
were,
Yes.
I have a clarification question about the motion. Do you want to add any details about what the purpose or the composition of the task force should be?
that's a good question because I was wanting to know how many people are part of the task force and who was aware of it and when.
You want to be on it?
No,
Um,
I don't know.
And if I might, you also may designate or delegate those tasks to staff and to bring it back to the board to confirm. But if you want to have very specific purpose and composition, you should note that in your motion.
So that, having, Commissioner Melitas head up the task force along with Commissioner, Director Prince and Deputy Director, Wojciak. And then the membership of the,
and then we can go from there. I mean, like, that's what we got for today. And it will, if there's anything else that you want to suggest that be discussed in it, I'm open to whatever. I think, but that's, I'd like to get the task force on the agenda.
I think this just goes to show that there hasn't been a lot of thought into this task force, but I will say, I'll help you out, I think, that I think we do need a task force to help with the purpose of phasing out the surcharge. And I think the best way to do it is to give this to staff and have them form a committee. Trying to think of the correct wording. What's the correct?
I'm
wording?
sorry, I haven't heard a second on the motion yet.
Oh,
Oh, I was just trying, this is Matt's.
he seconded it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, second.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Nick seconded it.
I thought, Commissioner Chowry seconded.
Yeah.
Second, but it would be a task force specifically with the purpose of phasing out the surcharge. The temporary surcharge. And direct this, by the next biennium. And that we would ask that, direct staff to form a committee and report back to the commission on the steps to go about doing that.
More discussion.
Any further discussion?
No, I mean, I think, yeah, if we want the commission involved, so, yeah, whatever you think.
So if I might, it sounds as if Commissioner Curran is suggesting an amendment to the motion on the table to further specify that staff will be recommending an appointment process for the commission and bringing that back to the commission for approval later, but I don't know if that's it. I don't want to put any, it's not my place, but it appears to be what I hear Commissioner Curran asking Commissioner Molitis if he would amend his motion to add those details.
Yeah, that's fine.
So moved and seconded.
Mhm.
We can call for the vote.
Unless there's more.
Alicia has a question.
We should.
Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody,
No, what I wanted to say is I appreciate the clarity on what that committee will do. It's been suggested that this hasn't been well thought out or the discussion wasn't shared with commissioners. I want to say in this case, good, because we do our business in public. And if the chair had been talking to people about, particularly a certain number of people, about doing this task force, it would not have been appropriate. So I didn't know anything about it, and I appreciate our ability to discuss it here in the public forum and to do our work. It's not always pretty, but to do our work here and to really hash out and get the best product we can. So I want to thank you all for hanging in there, making your suggestions, speaking your truths, and getting us a good product. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Any other discussion? All right, let's call for the vote.
So let's read the motion.
All right, I'll do my best.
Good luck.
Okay, Commissioner Molitas moved to create a task force. Chair Doherty added that that would be headed up with the help of Director Prinz and Deputy Director Wasiak. Commissioner Chowry seconded the motion. Commissioner Curran amended that motion, asked for a friendly amendment to the motion.
Second on the friendly amendment.
No, I didn't hear a second on
I'll
the,
second
that.
I'll second it.
who is,
I will.
no, well, it's your
You-
amendment.
no,
I'll
I will
second.
second it.
Well,
Who will?
Yeah, I will.
I mean, it's his friendly.
Okay.
Just for the record. Sorry, I should have said that earlier.
Yeah,
Okay. Can I go from there?
Mhm.
Okay, good. So for the task force, the purpose would be to phasing out the surcharge by the next biennium, or excuse me, the temporary surcharge by the next biennium, and direct staff to form a committee and report back to the commission on the steps to do that.
The steps for task formation.
Well, she
On the
just said-
step for phasing out.
Okay.
Well, looking at it, yeah, I think looking at the totality of it, because there's other, no, I guess that gets too into the details of it, but yeah, we'll, yeah. sorry.
So, for a little clarity, Chair,
Yes,
are we voting to phase it out or are we voting for a task force?
voting for a task force.
And the task force has been tasked to vote it out.
May I clarify? The original motion, it appeared I could be wrong, Commissioner Molitis, so please correct me if I'm wrong. It was a little more specific than that. The task force was tasked with finding additional funds with the purpose and intent of eventually phasing out the surcharge. Is that correct? Because what was just read was just the purpose to phase out the discharge, the surcharge, which is slightly different.
Yeah, we need to find the funds. We need to make sure that everyone's on the same pages, and we need to, because there's, we've seen half dozen different places where we could look at stuff. So that's, I'm just speaking off the cuff, but I think that there's, I think this is having a declarative task force, the best we're probably gonna get today, so. Yes.
And lastly, I heard the friendly amendment that you accepted was that staff is delegated to figure out who should sit on the task force and report back to the commission and have the commission approve their recommendation for who should sit on the task force. Am I correct on that?
No, I think Commissioner Molitas is supposed to head up the task force,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, I would, if that's what you want. Okay, do that.
That is slightly different from who sits on it. So if Commissioner Molitas heads up the task force and chairs it, you still have an open question about who sits on it, and you need to decide.
And maybe that's what we can work with staff on.
There you go.
There you go.
All right.
I suggest we read the motion back.
You can do it.
Commissioner Molitas moved to head up the task force to find additional funds with the intent to phase out the surcharge with the help of Director Prinz and Deputy Director Wasiak, seconded by Commissioner Choward. Commissioner Curran did a friendly amendment, seconded by Commissioner Warren. The purpose of the task force would be to phasing out the surcharge by the next biennium and direct staff to figure out who is on the task force and report back to the commission for their approval.
With Commissioner Molitas heading up the task force.
Yes.
Yes. All right,
Clarity.
we're all clear?
Yeah.
All right. So moved and seconded. Can we call for the vote?
Yeah.
please?
Commissioner Chowry,
Yes.
I better document this.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry. Commissioner Curran,
Yes.
Commissioner Floyd,
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn,
Yes.
Commissioner Japon Porter.
Yeah.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Molitas,
Yes,
Commissioner Warren,
No.
Chair Doherty.
Yes,
Motion passed.
motion passes. Thank you very much. That was real commission work here. Really well done. Thank you.
Chair,
Does not.
Yes.
you know, you could have just saved
If I
yourself the headache and just deferred this to the next meeting. and you had
I
three of
know,
us
that
out.
occurred to me, but I'm.
Yeah.
Three of you are leaving. and
Yeah.
that was-
Come on.
I,
Would have been.
that would not have been,
Down.
okay, I mean, I didn't think about it. All right, so,
Chair,
yes,
may Commissioner Molitas, would you be interested in any type of motion that would even a 10% reduction in it?
I think,
Or anybody?
I think the best we can do is this, because we're gonna have to offset it, we're gonna have to do a bunch of stuff, and so I don't know that we have the information today,
Oh,
All I would say is Commissioner Molitas, next month, it will be voted the full amounts and you have an opportunity today because you've been on the board for almost 8 years like I have and know the trajectory that if you have an idea of wanting to reduce it, I think we could do that. If you'd be willing, I would be willing to make a motion to reduce it less than, maybe 90%, or sorry, reducing it by 25%. Which would still give sufficient funds, but would start to phase that money out. The second motion until the first.
Wait, I would like to know if the motion has been made. I'm so sorry. I can't quite tell.
I think this is an important, I know I want to get moving, but I just thought,
you won't.
make the motion. I guess I would make the motion to reduce the temporary surcharge by 25%. So it would just be reduced 25%. From what it currently is, instead of 50% as I initially proposed. So I moved to reduce the temporary, or to extend the temporary surcharge, but reduce it by 25% through the 25-27 biennium.
I would second that. motion.
What about the task force? That,
We have a motion and
Oh,
a
okay.
second. We have a motion and a second.
Second,
We have discussion.
any discussion?
I like it.
I feel like we're kind of going around the back door here. We just voted on a task force to look at this, and now we're being asked to vote again. It just, I'm not sure why we're doing this, respectfully.
It's a lesser reduction, it's a 25% change from the last motion. And with all due respect, it's a backdoor to take a vote next month when 3 of your long-standing commissioners who have the most knowledge about this
What would we be voting on next month, though? I don't think we're voting on anything next month.
Why are we voting?
expire.
What's on,
Well, no, we're voting on it today, aren't we?
yeah, this is on today, I thought.
I think we vote on the
Found-
surcharge today, like with.
Yeah, this is what we're gonna vote, the motion is coming up is for that surcharge, and I
Sorry,
think
but
we found,
have
I
a
thought we
motion
found
and
a solution for this, that we would put this task force together, continue the surcharge, and we'd remove it at that time.
But it'd be for the next biennium. So what we're saying, so what Commissioner Curran is saying is to reduce it by 25%.
Right now,
Right now, going into the next biennium. So
That
the
means-
money's still there,
The
it's just
governor-
reduced.
Yeah, she'll still get 75%.
I thought we had. a pretty good time.
I'll say once again, I think that we'd be doing tremendous disservice to Oregonians by taking a vote to reduce those funds at this time.
Yeah, thank you.
And I can appreciate Commissioner Glenn's position. I think there's also been an opportunity to have this surcharge voted out over the past 15 years, which didn't occur when things were really great. So at what time is a good time? There's never a good time to cut funding.
Yeah, but this is an exceptionally poor time to cut money, Commissioner Hayes.
Well, you kind of took the thunder there. Yes, it is an exceptionally poor time to cut funding. I just want to be clear. I have every intent on voting on moving this forward or not with my intent today. So it's hard when I hear you could just wait or that's the plan. I don't think that's the plan. I think the plan is what we're doing today, which is having a good, thorough discussion and trying to find the correct answers. To that end, I thought the task force was a good answer to look at a methodical, a responsible way to look at how we reduce or remove this surcharge. So that's what I appreciate. That's where I've appreciated we've gone. And that's where I appreciate that my vote will be. Thank you.
Thank you.
But the task force does nothing about the next 2 years. Does nothing. So-
That's correct. That's correct. We're going to take this time to find the funding to eliminate this surcharge over this next biennium. I hear you. I'm trying to find this
Sure.
good
And
ground.
I'm trying to find some compromise as well.
Well, I think we've
25.
got a pretty good compromise, and we're honoring both of the constituents, both our obligation to public health and our obligation to the businesses. We're not adding anything new to the businesses right now. This is something that's been in place, so we're not adding another burden on them at this time while we go through this, so.
But in addition to the economic times that we're possibly facing, we're not helping them.
Okay, so you,
Just take a vote, I guess.
oh, yeah, so the motion is again to cut it down.
But Laura, you want to read the motion?
Commissioner Curran moved to extend the temporary surcharge through the 2025-27 biennium with a reduction to the surcharge by 25%. And Commissioner Warren seconded the motion.
It's moved and second. Any discussion? Take the vote, please.
Okay, Commissioner Chowry,
No.
Commissioner Curran,
Yes.
Commissioner Floyd,
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn,
No,
Commissioner Japong Porter.
Yeah.
Commissioner Hayes,
No,
Commissioner Melidas,
No.
Commissioner Warren.
Yeah.
Chair Doherty,
No,
motion fails.
the motion failed. Thank you. Vigorous discussion. Oh my gosh. This is real. This is
No,
real.
I get it. We'll get it.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, well, now we'll move to vote on the extension of the 50-cent surcharge on distilled spirit products for 2025-27 biennium. Can I hear them?
Thank you, Chair. I would move to extend the temporary surcharge through the 2025-27 biennium.
A second,
I'll second it.
moved and seconded. Any more discussion? Okay. Can we take the vote, please?
Commissioner Chowry,
Yes.
Commissioner Curran,
No,
Commissioner Floyd,
No.
Commissioner Glenn,
Yes,
Commissioner Japong Porter,
No.
Commissioner Hayes,
yes,
Commissioner Melidas.
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
No.
Chair Doherty,
Yes,
motion passes.
motion passes. Thank you for this vigorous discussion. These are tough issues. So now we have a Greg Prince, are you, excuse me, Director Prince, but bring us a legislative update.
Sure. Again, thank you for that vigorous discussion. This is gonna be anticlimactic after that. Rosie's off out today, so I'm doing the ledge update, which is basically appreciation for also is here. We've been working with also on a committee bill called 2282 that allows for minor decoy operations to be more prevalent. I want to thank in person Oliver, who's not here, but really worked on that with us. I want to thank Orla. We've been working with Bill Perry, Commissioner Floyd on the Senate Bill 871 we talked about, making sure when that comes up for a public hearing, we have the language right with Bill Perry. So I want to thank Orla. And then I want to thank Rich Evans and Chow, our cannabis partners, working a lot on seeing what we can do on some of the legislation that's been introduced. And I just want to thank Jesse Bonescu and Rich Evans and Nikki Turgia for just working out issues around legislation in cannabis too. And so it's that time in the session where there were a bunch of deadlines last week, which bills got through from one side to the other. And it's a little bit of a hiatus, a little bit of a break. And then, as what we can look forward to is really then in, as Colin said, the revenue forecast will be up soon. Our agency budget will be up soon. And then we'll continue to work with our partners and particularly the ones that I mentioned to see our way through to the end of the session. So I just wanted to thank those partners, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Director. So what an appropriate time here to say thank you. We have, excuse me, three of our valued commissioners, all valued commissioners. These three have been so important to me in my tenure here. Commissioner Curran and Commissioner Porter and Commissioner Floyd. This is their last commission meeting, and this has been, well, not just this meeting, but these last years have been monumental and very difficult times, and for all of you. And I so appreciate, just as I have here, where we have these, we're on opposite sides trying to serve this wonderful community, and all with great valuable points. And You've all stood up strong with your voices and which is inspiring to me. And you've all helped me along in this position and you've helped this community tremendously by the work you do here. Maybe we're overpaid, but we're. We contribute quite a bit to Oregon. You guys have dedicated hard time to this commission, and I want to and to the people of Oregon. You've done a tremendous job. So thank you very much. Is there anything you would like to say, any of you? As you
I will just say it's been my honor and it has been my pleasure to represent and serve the industry from which I am a part of, and that's the hospitality industry. And it's been an absolute pleasure to be the voice for them, to go to bat for them. I'm proud of all the good work that we've done here at this agency. The work, especially during that COVID period, was some of the best work. And I am incredibly grateful and appreciative of the work that this commission did to help expand margins for my industry, for the hospitality industry, and alongside a great group of commissioners. What you guys got to see here today was some of the, we don't always agree, but we respect one another, and I have always appreciated that with this group. And so it's been an honor and it's been a pleasure, and I'm gonna miss everybody. So yeah.
Oh my God. You don't have to say anything you don't.
I know, I didn't expect to feel this already nostalgic, but I think that's the best time to exit. And I do have to say, I loved Chair there. I do miss old Chair and the gavel. I think he did a lot for us. And glad for the new executive director, and I'm super excited about the deputy. And I hear that really great things about her bringing the agency together. So that's awesome. And actually, honestly, I'm sorry, but this is the first time I'm really gonna a little bit sad about not being able to get to know the new commissioners better. They all have their little unique spark. I really like that. I'm still gonna miss saying Mary Ellen because of John Boy and all that, but no, I have a lot of respect for everyone on the commission, and I really feel honored to have served, really honored. So thank you, everybody. Laura, thank you so much for your hand holding.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate that a lot. That's it.
I'd just say thank you very much for the opportunity to serve the state of Oregon. Thank you to Kate Brown, who initially appointed me and took a bet on me. I thoroughly enjoyed this role and learning something new and being part of a wonderful group. Thank you to my fellow commissioners, Director Friend, all of the licensees out there, agents, everybody that I'm forgetting. I know it is a little bittersweet. When I think about 8 years later, my son was 2, now he's 10. And how different, things coming down here once a month and driving or flying. It'll be different next month not to have that reporting to my office, that I'll be gone for that third Thursday of the month. But I am ready to, my kids are very busy and ready to kind of dive into some more family things. That's this chapter in my life. So I'm really excited for moving forward. And yes, we've been through some difficult years, but I've really enjoyed my time, especially Matt, that you've been on here for so long, Chair Doherty, and Commissioner Floyd, Jai Porter, and the new commissioners. Been very fun. And I'm excited for you guys to lead from this point forward. So, yeah. New chapter.
There you go.
Yeah.
Can I take a quick picture?
Of all of us?
Yeah.
I know, and I will.
Yeah.
Can I get?
Let's get a shot, you guys. I'm sorry. Gotta get these huge chairs out of the way. Get in there, Matt.
I don't know.
You're ready?
You want to do that? I thought it was just the outgoing.
Well, I'll get the other two commissioners on the screen too.
Oh, yeah.
Alicia and Mary Ellen, smile. Okay, great.
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Too.
I came out.
I know, I know.
A few months with each other.
Oh.
Your daughter.
She's good. She's good. Like you said, it's crazy because it's has been, it's where there was 5 years when we started.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe it's quick. Well, it has been, I mean, it seems like it's more ever. Yeah, it's been like a short, very nice.
Here,
Yes.
have you called a break or is the meeting done?
We got 2 more before.
Oh.
Break, yeah.
So
What do you need? Okay.
anything that anybody says here is for any meetings.
Okay.
If you want to call in.
Pardon me?
Are you calling your colleagues?
No, I was just gonna get some.
Oh, okay. Can you,
Do you need some water?
No, I was gonna grab it.
I'll get them. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll get one. So, is Lisa on?
She is.
Next, we'll have Elisa Bertram, if you're out there. Give us a construction.
Can y'all see that, hopefully?
Yeah.
There we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. For the record, my name is Lisa Bertram. I'm the Distilled Spirits Program Director for the OLCC, giving you guys a construction update today. So Meadowlark construction update in Canby.
Oh, thanks.
There we go. Currently on-site activity. So J.E. Dunn is fully mobilized in Canby. What does that mean? It's a construction site. So there is construction traffic that's on the site today. There's also a temp road that they've constructed to get into the site for large equipment, things like that. They have on-site trailers for their on-site command center. And so a couple different trailers for all of their personnel. And then they have a fence boundary around the entire site for safety security to keep the site safe while they're under construction. Because construction is underway, we have our on-site senior superintendent from J.E. Dunn. They're our contractor. His name is Jeff Byrne. He's out there every day with the construction crews. One of the big things about the construction site today is safety and security, like I've mentioned. So PPE, personal protective equipment, is used on site. Folks that were out there yesterday for the groundbreaking saw some of that. But it is fully under construction now. We're doing a lot of grading right now with more formative construction to start next month. This is what the site looks like today. If you go out there, like I said, the blue construction fencing is up. There is a gate and an entryway on Walnut Street. So this is the view from the Walnut Street construction entrance. And J.E. Dunn is prominent on all of the signage. And then just a shot of one of their trailers. They do, an on-site mobilization every morning with their team, talk about safety, things that are going on site during the day, things like that. The lower right-hand picture is the Zora Lutheran Cemetery. So wanted to put this in here. We do have a 25-foot easement around that cemetery. And so you can see that the blue fence to kind of green fence goes all the way around the cemetery. So we're not messing with that ground or getting into that area at all. We have that roped off. So as I said, construction is going to continue. Folks that have gone to Canby or through Canby are excited about it. They've told me, hey, we see stuff happening. It's pretty cool. So, this is where things start to kind of quicken up, right? As soon as we get the ground going, the building starts to happen. Interior to the building, though, the material handling system, I kind of gave you guys an update on this last meeting, so I wanted to give some more specifics. We have determined our final layout. We figured out the space and volume. We're looking at finalizing the budget now. So we've looked at all the specifics of it. We're looking at the budget to determine, what can we put in this space? What's going to make the most sense? And then once we have those, solidified, then we'll move forward with more of those design specifics, IT, things like that come into play later. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview. I understand everyone's not as excited about distribution as I am. So if you have questions, please let me know. I'll try to keep it high level, but again, please ask if you have questions. The way we're building the material handling system, it's really the conveyance of the product as well as the stacking and racking, so storage of that product until it can get to a pick line to be picked for an order. We're using a modular expansion, so we will be able to stay in the building that we're building today for at least 20 years, maybe 40 years, maybe 50, depending on how growth goes and where we are. But we're designing it today to be able to live long term. Even if we grow. So we can increase the number of pick lines. We can add more conveyor lines. We're also adding knockout doors. So dock doors that are sort of like a template for a dock door, but not a dock door yet, but can be knocked out in the future to add more dock doors. So we have 4 of those. And then utilizing the right size racking for what we're doing. So day 1 racking may look different than day year 20 racking. We might have different racking, better racking, more racking. Our current distribution, when we looked at the 2024 numbers, that's our full year numbers, we're distributing about 3.9 million cases annually today. We're using 4 outbound dock doors to do that. And we have 2 warehouse locations. One is our main distribution center in Milwaukee. And I call that a distribution center because that's where we're distributing product. We have a warehouse in Millport where we're warehousing product, and that product comes to that warehouse and then it gets shuttled over to the Milwaukee warehouse for distribution. So we're touching the product a lot of times in our current distribution. The future state is based on some growth. And so I want to just, pause here for a second. We heard earlier, Colin gave his presentation on falling revenues. So what we're doing is we're baking in a growth rate with the acknowledgement that it may not be a 3% growth rate every year. If that's the case, we will grow this building with the growth rate. So that's where I say, we're planning for a 20-year hit. Well, we could go out 30, 40 years if our growth rate continues to decline, stabilizes. What we're preparing for is anything. So if it goes down, we're fine. If it stabilizes, we're fine. If it goes up, we're also fine. So our base year was 2024. Again, about 3.9 million cases delivered. I'm going to skip some of these numbers, but the dock doors needed, if we were going to right size our building, we've talked about we're at capacity or over capacity. We really need about 6 dock doors today, and we're using 4. The build year, which is 2026, when this will actually be constructed, we'll be able to ship out about 4.1 or so million cases, with 7 dock doors needed, and that gets us to again that cumulative growth rate. So 3% every year gets us to 6%. So that's day 1. That's what we are able to do day 1. If you look at the 10-year, again, based on 3% growth, it gets us to just under 50%. If you look at the 20-year, that's closer to 100% growth. So we're looking at really doubling our capacity over the next 20 years, again, if needed. And so we're able to look at the MHS or the material handling system in ways that are going to benefit us now, that we can afford now, and that we can grow in the future if we need it. So what does that look like? This is not a great shot. It's a very draft, but this is the material handling system itself. There's an equipment platform or a mezzanine, and that's the yellow. Here, I'll use my cursor. There's this yellow area here that runs all the way down. The equipment platform is really where the conveyor is and where the conveyor sorting happens. So, as cases get picked onto the line, they're going to come up onto this conveyor. There's a sorting system over here that says, hey, this case needs to go to dock door 1. This case goes to dock door 2. So we're able to pick multiple orders at once, and the sorting system gets them to the right door. I say it's expandable. The yellow part is day one. Also, this orangey part down at the bottom is day one. The gray part to the right is that future state. If we were needing to add more conveyors in the future, we can do that by increasing the platform. We can also do that short term by adding in more conveyance. So I'll get to that in just one second. The other thing that the equipment platform does is allows us to work underneath it. So all of the conveyors are up in the air. We can now get under the platform to work. We can also get to all the conveyors. So if a conveyor breaks down, goes down, we're able to access it easily with the equipment platform. Under the platform then is going to be our repack area, and that's for the single bottle sales. So some stores or some agents get single bottles. That's going to be under the platform. Again, just a saving, a floor saving there. And we'll have racking and shelving under there, racking for big, large case or full cases, and then some shelving for single bottles. So if you only sell a couple bottles of your product, maybe a month or a year, you're going to go in the shelving. Otherwise, you'd go in the racking. Last thing about this is the pick lines. So up at the top here are the 3 pick modules, and then within each of these is a pick line. So the top one has 1 pick conveyor line in it, as does the second one down. The third one down is actually 3 pick lines that are, there's a baseline and then there's 2 stacked on top. So it's a 3-layer high pick module. The expandable bit would be to add more conveyors to the top 2 later down the road. So if we did expand to a certain amount, we could say, okay, we need to add 2 more pick lines. We can add those up on top of these that are already built. And so that, again, that gives us that modular expansion. Down at the bottom of this picture, and I have a better picture coming up, but that's where the dock doors are. And I'm not going to touch on that right now. I've got a better one of that. But this is really like kind of the base of what we're building today. And again, it's modular, expandable. Other states are doing this as well. So I know this is similar to what they have in Virginia, also what they're building in Mississippi. This is, again, just a draft picture, but this is where you can see that 3-stack pick line. So these green conveyors, again, very rough down the middle. So you can see this is 3 stacked on top. So we've got 3 conveyors, 3 pick lines in this module. And then you can see over here where they're on the ground, obviously have some headspace to add later. Underneath that platform, you can see over here a little bit is another green conveyor, and that's that repack for those single bottles. And you can see the shelving is a little different. On the pick lines, in this middle one in particular, the 3 high, these are full pallets. So putting full pallets on this line. There's another section here where you will just put cases in, not full pallets. And that's kind of more similar to the repack. So you're going to put single cases in these shelvings to pull bottles from. And then the outbound dock doors. So on day 1, we're going to build out 10 dock doors. So we'll have 6 conveyor doors. So we've got our 6 picking lines. So we've got the 3 stack, the 2 on the ground, and then our repack is 6 lines. So we've got our 6 lines. The blue extensions, these are dock extenders. So a truck actually comes up to the dock, and then this dock extender goes into the truck. So it's articulated into the truck. We then have carrier partners that will take those cases off the conveyor and load that truck. And so as they load the truck, these come, closer to the dock. When they first start loading the truck, they go all the way in. And so that's what those are, extending past the building. Future knockout doors, that's where I said we have 4 future knockout doors on the right-hand side here, and you can kind of see them. We'll have all of these blue doors day 1, and then these 4 on the end we'll be using later. We have 6 conveyor doors, but we have, essentially 10 doors. So we have 4 open doors at the moment. Those can be utilized for many other things. We can also, again, grow modularly with those doors. So we don't have to put in new doors, let's say in 10 years, if we wanted to add a couple more conveyors. Other design elements within the warehouse or within the distribution center is a high value cage. So this is where we'll be storing all of the vendor allocated or highly allocated products. Chance to purchase products will also go in here until they're ready to be distributed to the agents. This will give us a secure area where the stuff can live. We can have eyes on it, do inventory as needed, and make sure it's secure. We'll have a rework area. This is where kind of damage repacking goes. If you have damaged cases, you can usually take some bottles out and repack them. and then get them over to the single bottle line to be sold. And then the racking. So there's a picture here of the racking. Again, very base. We have the ability to go 5 high, and you can see the beige are going to be full pallets. And then as you go toward the back of the warehouse, they change. So your full pallet is kind of your high volume items. Then the blue that you see here, those are going to be smaller stacked pallets. So maybe 20 cases, 10 cases. So a pallet spot, but maybe not a full pallet, 70, 80 cases. And then the far right is the green, and that's where single cases are going to go. So very slow moving products, maybe distributing, 5 cases, 10 cases, 15 a year, something like that. Very slow movers are then going to go farthest away. And the idea here is that we would put all of the fast movers close enough to the pick modules so that we can get that inventory over there as it's coming in. So this is, these are really the design elements that we're working on now is, try to figure out, like, what does this racking look like? Where does it go? How does it, where do the sprinklers go on it? So again, continuing to work through some of this stuff as we move forward.
Lisa,
yeah, go ahead.
What is the height of those stacks?
Yep. So our the height, the stacks themselves, we have a 40-foot clear or 40-foot ceiling, 36-foot clear height, and so these are, I don't know the exact, but probably about 30 feet for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, it gets up there, and our forklifts, they will have cameras on them as well, and the camera is at the top of the lift, and the viewer is with the operator. So for anyone, if you can imagine getting a pallet up into the air that high, we are using technology to make sure we're staying safe.
Wow. All right. Thank you. Pretty high.
Any other questions on material handling before I move on? Okay. Last thing I want to talk about is the groundbreaking ceremony. It was yesterday, April 16th. I was not able to attend, but I did have the opportunity to view it, and I think it was amazing. Chair Doherty spoke, Director Prince spoke. We had a lot of people from the community. County Commissioner was there, did some speaking, the Restaurant and Lodging Association, Oregon Distillers Guild, one of our industry partners, NABCA, and then our construction partner, J.E. Dunn. It was an amazing ceremony. I think it went off really well. This project's been in the works for a long time. And so this was a big ceremony to really get us underway. It takes a lot of people to get this far. And so I just want to say thank you to all the OLCC staff and the people that helped put that on and the people that got us this far. I've only been here for a couple months, so I can't take any credit, but I think there's a lot of people working to make this a success, and the efforts are not going unnoticed. And I'm just very excited to get this project going, and groundbreaking is done, so we can really get the fun construction going. So with that, that's all I had to update today. I'd take any questions from the commission. Otherwise, thank you very much, Chair Doherty.
Yeah, thank you.
That's wonderful. Amazing. Yeah. Very
Excellent.
detailed.
Let's have a good picture of that. And then, Alan Rowe, were you up here? Hey, Alan.
Somewhere.
Alan's going to give us a distribution center update. Nice ride yesterday. I saw you out there at the, what year is that?
65.
Yeah.
It's got a 65, is that a Mustang?
Red Mustang.
Mustang.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful.
It's not mine, it's my wife's.
Did she let you take it yesterday?
Yeah, she's lets me play with it. I got that for a birthday present for her a couple years ago. So her and the car turned 60 this year. So yeah, we're pretty excited about that. It's a fun thing. For the record, my name is Alan Rowe. I am the Distribution Services Assistant Director overseeing the operations of the warehouse and the distribution centers. Today, I'm here to give you a little bit of an update on some of the production values for the first quarter of 2025. Excuse me. Starting with just talk a little bit about our staffing. Once again, we've got 60 current staff in the warehouse. There's the breakdown there. I've got 2 current vacancies out in the warehouse, both of which are actually, I believe one just got completed. The other is under the process of being filled currently. So we'll be backed up to full status here in about a week. Picture of the hardworking men and women out in the warehouse. Production wise, these are the normal charts that I share with you all, how many cases were received at the same time compared to last year. Number of orders we processed and cases shipped. Before anybody started noticing the major drops here that happened in February, I thought I would bring an extra point of note to the charts, and that is actual production days. Normally, it's not something we talk about, production days, actual working days at the warehouse within a month. They're pretty standard. It's about 21, 22 days a month that we actually work. You know, we don't work weekends, we don't work the major holidays. February, just because of the way the weeks fell, the weekends fell, the holidays fell, and a couple of odd closures. February had a drastic drop in actual production days. We only had 19 days. So it was a full 4 days worth of production. And when you're talking about 13,000 cases a day on average right now at this time of year, that's a big difference. So it looks like a major drop, but if you see here in the upper chart on the left, our average cases per day are still pretty steady. We're staying right there at 12 to 13,000. We didn't really have any massive crises that stopped us from shipping out cases on a regular basis. No orders were missed, no days were missed. The 2 closures that did happen, we had one in February 14th. We had a snow day. We made up for that on the following weekend. The second closure was a power outage here from the storms. And we weren't actually able to make that one up until the following month. So March actually got another day of production built into it, where February got shorted one. So if you see those drastic numbers and wonder where did all the cases not go in February, we're still shipping them out.
Yeah, good job. You had 4 less days, you got the same production out.
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah, good job.
Pretty much, yes. Moving on from that, there's our overall totals for the quarter. And again, you can see we are still on that same downward trend that the nation is still facing, anywhere from like 2 to 4% on liquor sales. And that sort of reflects on both the amount shipped and received, even though they're still fairly stable from last year. The sales numbers kind of speak for themselves. Everybody's down a little bit on the sales. Receiving wise, we're still pretty static on the number of cases we received in. We did actually have a bit of a jump in some of our receivings in February. So although we weren't shipping quite as much out in February, we did have some extra receivings, and that was a lot of product that was held up out on the road. A lot of special order stuff and a lot of new listings that just got listed. And so we just brought in a massive amount. I think you guys have provided the list of the new listing items from the latest listing meetings. And we had a very large number of new products that joined the warehouse this year.
So we're still pretty even with.
Sorry, go ahead.
The national trend is that we're not any different than anybody else.
We're not outrageously higher or lower than anybody else right now. We're still at that about 2.5 to 3%.
Yeah.
Where the nation's ranging 2 to 4.
Okay.
This is just general information, our top 10 moving items in the warehouse. This doesn't necessarily reflect counter sales, but this is for the cases that have moved out fastest, the depletion in the warehouse anyways. Once again, it's the top 3 as always, Platinum, Tito's, and of course our Portland zone Rose City bucket is hanging tight at number 2. Changing places back and forth with number 1 all the time.
Nice.
Inventory levels. Like I said, we experienced a bit of a bump there in February over the last month anyways. Of course, we're much down from the holidays, the October, November, December that we had last year. It's a very normal looking pattern that we always see. We get packed in real tight from the end of the summer to December, and then we peter back off and get rid of all the extra gift stuff. Currently, right now, we got about 529,000 cases on hand in the warehouse, just shy of $60 million cost value, 122 million retail. We're still doing our best to try to maintain that orange line there in the blue chart on the top. That is our goal, and that is based on 80% of absolute maximum. We had a study done, and they gave us a number of what our absolute maximum of cases were if you jammed one into every available location you have. And a good warehouse, a good distribution center operates between 70 and 80% of its maximum. You need that room to be able to move these products in, move old products out, rearrange what's moving fast, what's moving slower. So anytime we go over that orange line, we're really cramped, and we struggle to find places for new product. So once again, we're pretty close to our goal. We'd like to be way under that goal a little. I don't want to say way under. We'd like to be under that goal just for operational purposes. But we still do what we can. We're still actively working on with our suppliers as to their shipments, how much they're sending in, how much inventory they're allowed to keep in the building at any given time. So if they don't overstuff us, they all are aware of our spatial constraints, and are all very cooperative in working with us on how much inventory they keep here. And then of course our delisting process, along with our listing process, and my staff's incredible skill for utilizing every available square inch of that warehouse that we can. And speaking of inventory, we held our annual physical inventory count on March 14th. We counted over 537 cases between the two buildings, estimated 5.3 million bottles, valued at 113 million at the time. That was 11,000 physical counts that had to be made twice, actually. We were able to accomplish it in one day. It used to be years ago, we had to do it in 2 days, but we've streamlined the process as best we can. We're able to get it done in one day with the amount of people that we have to show up. We struggled a little bit this year. We had a lack of participation, a lot of people out on vacations, prior engagements, et cetera, so on. But I would like to thank not only the men and women of the warehouse that are out there counting, but the financial team, retail services, and a few other. Our discrepancy rate, the virtual rate, which is our WMS, our warehouse management system, versus the MBS version of it, which is the bailment system, had a discrepancy rate of 0.001. So less than 0.1%, less than 0.1% difference. So it was a really good count for us. It's pretty consistent over the last 3 years. We've been pretty much the same rate. No major red flags or massive amounts of product missing. The physical count was actually just slightly better than the virtual count from my WMS system. To the physical cases, we counted 0.0009%, 0.09%. So we had an approximate estimation, about a $5,000 difference between the physical and actual count between our WMS system and physical cases. One of our stakeholders, one of our business partners, we had a handful of people from Beam Suntory, also came down to once in a while throughout the year. Any vendor can request a personalized count of their own product here in the building, since it is still vendor owned and managed. And we accommodate that anytime they like. He actually showed up at our annual inventory to oversee the counting of their product. And I don't want to say they were amazed, but let's say that they were very impressed with not only the organization, the cleanliness of the warehouse, but the teamwork that all of the staff that came to help us out put forth to get the job done. So that was very.
Alan, you doing all that with this abacus in the corner?
Yeah. What else to use? And other than that, I'd just like to make a note that we're all very excited to looking forward to the DSSC implementation, so that next year we'll be looking at the Microsoft Dynamics for inventory count, and maybe it'll be a slightly less arduous manual process, and hopefully a smoother report when it comes out.
Wow,
Yeah.
very impressive. Thank you very much.
I think I'm done. Anybody have any questions?
Great work,
Yeah.
Yara. Great work.
Good presentation. Thank you.
You run a ship-shape warehouse.
We do what we can with what we have.
You bet,
Right.
you bet. And you know what? I have to tell you. Thank you for the new listing and the delisting report here. That's very helpful and insightful for commissioners. So thank you.
Absolutely. And we've made even more attempts to get that list available out to the agents as well.
Wow.
So now the stores know what hits, besides having to, surf through their OLA systems when they're ordering, is to find out maybe they found a new item somewhere in the menus. So everybody is well aware of all the new products that hit when they get here.
Awesome. Good job. Kudos.
Thank you.
Other than that, I would like to say that yesterday after the groundbreaking ceremony, I hung out with the construction team with J.E. Dunn and was able to do a site walk, job walk with them. And the groundbreaking ceremony did not do justice to the scope of the size of that thing. We wandered out, we were discussing things, they were pointing things out to me, and by the time we got to the southwest corner of the property, about where the shipping doors would be, they turned around and they said, "You see that big white water truck over there?" I said, "Yeah, that's still in your building." It's like a quarter mile away now. I said, "Okay, yeah, I'm gonna need a segue." Thank you all for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
That was excellent. Excellent. Brian. Good morning. Good morning.
Hey.
Still morning. Morning, Chair, Commissioners, and Director Friends. For the record, Brian Aker, District Manager and Interim Retail Director with Retail Services. And today we've got 2 store appointments for your consideration. 1222 Damascus comes as a result of a vacancy for Deputy Google's resignation. And the second store will be 1237 Beaverton Island Boulevard, and that vacancy is a result of Britt Bauer's resignation. So if you would like to get a timekeeper.
Oh, that's right. Yes, you're the final 8 minutes.
Final
Countdown.
It is my honor.
8 minutes.
Is that what we're doing? 8, not 7? All right. You've been.
And with that, I'll bring up Nature Partners LLC, Joella Jadakari and his wife.
Okay, folks, so I'll just say this once, so I don't, and have to repeat myself. So everybody out there do we have anybody virtually here?
No.
Promoting in, everybody's here. Oh, great, wonderful. So I'll just say this to everybody. We've got 8 minutes to present. If at all, any one of us up here, asks a question, I'll make sure to stop the clock. And we'll resume after you've finished answering the question. And then I'll give you a 30-second heads up.
Thank you.
That sound good? You bet. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
By the way, it was very interesting discussion.
What's that?
It was very interesting discussion. Lot to learn.
You should hear us back there.
Yeah.
Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, I'm Joella Adhikari. I go by AJ, and
I'm Carrie Adhikari.
we are representing Nature Partners LLC today for a business proposal for liquor store 1222 in Damascus. Next slide, please. I currently work at liquor store 1237 in Beaverton, closely supporting the owner and manager. In fact, I'll be also presenting for the store business plan after this. As a husband and wife team, we co-manage UPS store where we have grown revenue by 30% since acquiring it as a struggling location. If appointed to liquor store 1222, we're fully committed and plan to resign from the UPS store to focus solely on this opportunity. Together, we bring 20 years of retail management experience. Previously, I ran a convenience store for 6 years, and before that, 7-Eleven for 3 years. Carrie, my wife, managed the same UPS store that we own right now for past 3 years. And before that, she was a senior retail associate for another 3 years. So as a Beaverton native, we are deeply embedded in the community, active in Beaverton Chamber of Commerce, Business Network International. We support local leagues and we participate in the school fundraising. Next slide, please. Our vision for the liquor store is very clear. We envision a very modern, well-branded, community-based one-stop liquor store in Damascus, serving the majority of Clackamas County. Next slide, please. I want you to focus here on the very unique location of Damascus liquor store, which is very uniquely situated, commercially well placed along the Highway 12 with no nearby competitors in up to 5 miles, 10 miles in all directions. It is conveniently located just 30 minutes from our home, allowing us to be fully hands-on, responsive. Next slide, please. Just market intelligence on the whole beverages and alcohol tells us that the market is changing and evolving, especially by 4 different trends. Premiumization, cocktail and RTDs, ready to drink, are on the rise. Dynamic demography as the 21 plus Gen Zs are coming into the market, and we have more retirees. And also they prefer convenience, sustainability, and craft local. So next slide, please. So with that knowledge, we're going to focus on what we can do in liquor store 1222. The SWOT analysis tells us that it's a strong location and size, but the store underperforms nearby peers due to limited supervision on the store, persistent loss and theft, and a major drop in licenses sale in 2024. Next slide, please. So here is the brief summary of the liquor store 1222, which is all the way bottom pink. And that's the total sales, and compared to its nearby peer liquor stores, we see that it's in the lower bottom tier. And if we compare just to the nearby Sandy, which has 40% more liquor store sell, despite only being 15% population difference. So licensee sales also sharply dropped in 2024, which you see on the right side of the curve, but coinciding with a spike in the Clackamas liquor store. In fact, the Clackamas liquor store is also owned by the Damascus liquor owner. So yeah, so let's go to the next slide, please. To revive the sale, we are focusing on 4 main areas for this store: store redesign and merchandising, store supervision, on-store supervision all the time, customer excellence, rebuild that lost licensee sales, and we want to do targeted marketing. Next slide, please. With just looking on the driving by the Highway 12, we noticed that there's an opportunity everywhere where we can start marketing. Just looking at the pylon sign here, we saw the liquor store and the very small real estate here, which we can move it to the larger space, which was open due to McDonald's just leaving that complex. So that would really help us bring on the traffic that is Mountwood bound and for the skiing to the Highway 12. Next slide, please. Just comparing on the current store versus what we think, what we envision that we can make the next store, the liquor store, and just in the exterior side with updated signs and distinctive features that we can see just from the parking lot also, and also from the store, from the road. Next slide, please. This is a lot of things in here, lots of information, but what I really want to highlight here is the way that the register is positioned in the store right now. As you enter with the entrance signs, register is on the right side, and you see that there's a huge left side of the entrance. It's just for the gift and spirit. If customer wants to come in and leave by picking something, the register, the employees from the register wouldn't be able to see what happened in the left side of the store. That's a very big blind spot right there. And there are spirits like vodka and expensive glasswares, which can really, and there's the red color there is a big, tall refrigerator that prohibits, you can see here where there's a firewall there on the right side of the entrance. There's a big, so many things in between the visibility between the employees at the counter. So anybody who has intention to theft or something, they can easily, and that could be one of the reasons where there's a high loss on that store. I also wanted to focus that the gift portion takes more than 25% of the store floor, which adds clutter and might confuse customers because there are no clear category signs. I don't know where the whiskey is versus where the vodka is. So it's very confusing there as you go there. So flooring, lighting, and wall color will also be modernized for this store. Next slide, please. So this is my envision how I'm gonna do redesign. On the right side is a proposed layout. As you enter, you see from the register, the employee is gonna see everybody who is coming and going out. And the way I have layout it here, you see the premium cabinets, the gift, the high volume sales is built on the all the way back so that the customer would go and interact with the impulsive shopping and all that would increase the revenue. And I would have because it's a large store, like 4,000 square feet, I'll have a premium section, local section, wine section. So there's lots of opportunity and the very large coolers. I'll show the picture and it has a lot of opportunity there. Next slide, please. And this is just a 3D view, what the current store looks like versus what I'm envisioning it to look into. It's very rudimentary. It's not perfect, but it gives my idea. I want to add wall murals that represents PDX or Portland mounted. I want to add a new premium cabinets, humidors, distribute the gift area so that all the customers can see the way the aisles are set in the employees at the counter would have a clear visibility of all the customers all the time.
30 seconds.
Next slide, please. So these are the examples of the improvement I'll bring to the stores. So not only the design, I'll also focus on the security because that's one of the changes. That is one of the problem that is causing that store. So especially focusing on the AI power surveillance. Next slide, please. We'll also engage in targeted marketing, including local, digital, and in-store marketing. Next slide, please. So 5 strategic actions for the revenue growth. Besides that is security, inventory. Next slide, please. We'll increase the store hours by 30% and increase the employees on the floor. Our finance sales looks strong. Next slide, please. Our finance sales look strong, so we have funding secured. Upgrade plan is there. So next slide, please. We are the right fit because we are a franchisee owner with a 30% proven record of increasing the revenue. I'm as a currently liquor store employee, I understand customers and employees and inventory. We are invested locally. We provide customer excellence, and we'll integrate the surveillance, the security of the store.
Thank you. Great job. It's a challenge, isn't it? You're presenting a whole business plan in 8 minutes. It's a challenge, but you guys you did very well. Very, very well. Thank you.
Very impressive. Questions?
It's a great presentation. I really enjoyed that layout. That's very nice.
Thank you. Are your current employees staying or current employees?
Yes, this is there.
Yes.
We talked to them briefly and they said they're staying.
And you probably said this, so remind me, so where the current location is, your proposed location, is it to stay in that
Yes,
location?
it will stay in that location. It's a large enough. We have lots of opportunity. It's a large coolers. We just need to do more merchandising and redesign so that it's more helpful to the customers.
Yeah,
Store
the
experience.
one-stop shop,
Yeah.
because there is no nearby any gas station or the convenience shop in that complex.
Yeah.
So that complex has a lot of potential.
Yeah, you've got, I think, Primark there, right? That's
Yeah.
a big anchor and
Yeah.
it's a great.
Safeway is right across the street, so that brings the traffic too.
Yeah.
Do you know what, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Do you know why the licensee sales dropped off?
For this store, about 80,000. It dropped from 300K.
No, why? Do you know why?
Oh, yeah, because let's go back to the slide. So we did the study what that happened. So we spoke to the employees. They said all the licensee sales is fulfilled by another store of the owner, which is in Clackamas. And if you see the licensee sales of Clackamas store versus Damascus, you see the direct correlation. So in 2024, it spiked in there and it dropped in Damascus store. It looks like all the sales are fulfilled by the same owner in the another store.
Okay.
Good job.
For sure.
Just one last question. I see that you, the UPS store, why decide to make the change? As you said, you resigned from the UPS store, so why do you want to make the change to
celebration?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. I was hearing this morning too. Liquor store brings $1 billion per year for Oregon. You know, that's a revenue sales and third largest in revenue that goes to the government. So there's a huge cause there, you know, by engaging in the liquor store. I wanted to be part of it. Not only it helped my family, but also there is money going out to the society. So that's one of the reasons. One of the reasons is I'm very interested in being part of the OLCC liquor store family, so that you know it fits with what my interest is on growing business, and I have lots of good ideas on what we can do, how we can make it a one-stop shop, and bringing more newcomers, Gen Zs and all, making it one-stop for beer, wine, and also leverage that towards the revenue sales of the liquor store itself, or the spirits itself. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. You guys are gonna be back to the Beaverton.
Yes.
I'll
try to be.
We are a team.
Thank you, well done.
Yeah, we are a team.
All right, next up is BED LLC and managing member Nirdash to call.
We have a few material that I'll be using for this presentation. You have some documents. Two.
Thank you.
One. This is.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
You welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. I have a couple extra to you. Yep, and then I have another set of documentation. This is a presentation. That's the material that I'm gonna touch.
Oh, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm asking you.
Here.
It's like Shark Tank.
I love it.
Yes. It's a presentation, right?
I love it.
It's the time is limited. I just want to be prepared.
No. Take your time. Yeah.
All right, I guess I'm ready. Sure. My name is Nirdosh Takal and I'm representing BDD LLC and I'm applying to be the agent for Damascus State.
Welcome.
Are you ready?
We are ready.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Thank you, OLCC and commissioners, for granting me the opportunity to present my business plan for Damascus Liquor. Next slide, please. I bring over 20 years of retail experience across a variety of roles, including cashier, stocker, driver manager, shift manager, and owner operator. I have successfully managed businesses such as convenience store, gas station, gift shop, pizza shops, and liquor store. My operation team will include current staff. I have talked to Devi, the current owner of a Damascus Liquor, a couple times. And I've talked to Jason, the current manager of the store, more than 10 times. I've talked to Amy and Holly at least a few different times. I have bounced off my ideas with them and I've taken suggestions from them. I've talked to them about what I will be focusing on. They all wished me the best of luck for this presentation today, and I'm hopeful I will get a chance to celebrate with them today. Next slide, please. This is the executive summary. My goal is to transform Damascus Liquor into a true one-stop shop for all beer, wine, and spirit needs. Next slide, please. What you are seeing is the sales figure of Damascus liquor for the past 5 years. The store sales figure have shown a consistent decline on both the retail consumer side as well as on the licensee side. If we consider inflation, the drop is even more. Next slide, please. It's time to reverse the declining trend through bold growth strategies, approaches I have successfully implemented in my previous business. I plan to invest significantly in advertising to engage our community and draw them to the store. Initiative includes a direct mail campaign like this, and ads in the local publication like Local Buy and Advantages magazine. We will develop a dynamic website and active social media account. We will paste the QR code like this in the store to get more Google reviews so that Damascus liquor listing will be on the top. We will also integrate our POS system with Google so that customer can find our product and price online. There will be promotion like this throughout the store, and these special incentives will encourage customer to shop at Damascus liquor. In addition, all the other strategies mentioned will be implemented. I will begin working on all these strategies immediately, ensuring readiness by the time the agent change is finalized. My ambitious goal is to increase retail consumer sale by 25% and licensee sale by 100% in the first year alone. Next slide, please. Let's reflect on some key questions pertaining to liquor store in Greater Portland area. How many people purchase wine and beer exclusively at liquor store? Hardly any. How many buys wine and beer while purchasing liquor? Possibly few. How many avoid buying wine and beer at liquor store entirely? Some of us. A true one-stop shop is a destination where consumers fulfill all their alcohol needs. My objective is to establish Damascus liquor as this ideal destination. Next slide, please. Liquor store in Greater Portland often falls short of being true one-stop shop because of competition, limited selection, uncompetitive pricing, space constraint, and preconceived notions. I have actionable strategies to address each of these challenges, ensuring Damascus liquor becomes a genuine one-stop shop. Next slide, please. To significantly expand our beer, wine, and liquor selection, we will optimize the store layout. With 4,300 square feet of space, Damascus liquor store is primed for growth. Next slide, please. Declining sales demand bold strategies to attract customers. Adding more beer and wine enables us to offer discounts, drawing more customers to the store. Increased foot traffic will naturally boost the liquor sale as well. Next slide, please. As part of the growth strategy, I will implement specific initiatives to attract and retain retail customers. We'll be doing regular promotion and testing events, even featuring greater allocated bottles to enhance customer interest. We will have customer appreciation days with engaging activities like fish ball drop and spin the wheel games. All our associates will take comprehensive beer, wine, and liquor knowledge training to better serve customers. We will partner with food catering companies and corporations to reach new customer bases. Next slide, please. Similarly, I will deploy targeted strategies to boost licensee sale. Next slide. My overarching goal is to create an engaging and memorable experience for every customer. Next slide, please. I warmly invite all of you to visit the store on December 5th and experience the transformation firsthand. We will host beer, wine, and liquor tasting. I look forward to showcasing the change we have implemented. And that goes for all three of you commissioners who are retiring as well. You guys are still invited to come on December 5th. Next slide, please. I do have a short video as part of the presentation.
At Damascus Liquor Store, our commitment to excellence begins before the first customer walks through the door. Our team arrives early, ensuring every detail is perfect for the day ahead. We prioritize cleanliness, from sparkling floors to spotless counters, creating an inviting atmosphere for our customers. our dedicated floor team assists customers, maintains well-stocked shelves, and ensures efficient inventory management. We offer prompt deliveries to our licensee partners and actively seek new collaborations to expand our community reach. Our cashiers provide friendly service while diligently verifying IDs to promote responsible alcohol sales. We receive shipments through our secure back entrance, meticulously inspecting each delivery for accuracy. Daily team meetings foster communication and ensure our inventory aligns with customer demands. Weekly strategy sessions empower our team to innovate and drive business growth. We value customer feedback, promptly addressing reviews to enhance our services. Our commitment extends beyond sales. We engage in community outreach to promote responsible alcohol consumption. In our other retail ventures, strategic changes has led to 100% increase in revenue in just few years. Now, we're excited to expand this success to Damascus Liquor Store. And as part of our growth, we're also building websites for our customers and licensees, making it easier than ever to place orders and stay connected. At Damascus Liquor Store, our dedicated team strives for excellence, ensuring a superior experience for every customer. Experience the difference with Damascus Liquor Store.
Next slide, please. This will be the new hours. We'll be increasing couple hours every day. Right now, the store hour is 8 p.m. and we will be changing that to 9 p.m. And hopefully on the weekend, we are planning to change that to 10 p.m. Next slide. These are a couple of the recommendations written by District Manager of both Columbia and Melodious Beverage.
Final comment.
Sure. Next slide. Yeah, that's it. Vision, passion, and commitment are three attributes for success. I truly believe I have all those attributes to move and take Damascus Liquor forward. With that, I'm open for the questions.
Thank you. Excellent presentation. I think that's the first spinning wheel and the first video we've got here. Yes, thank you for that. Commissioners, questions? You say you're building websites for your customers?
I will be building website for Damascus Liquor, yes, and right now I own a couple of convenience store and we do have website for those stores as well.
I saw that Jason is your other member of the company. Is Jason here today?
Jason is not actually the member, Commissioner Curran. Jason is the manager who is currently working on the store.
Okay.
I have talked to him like, I'll say probably 15 different times. We are, I won't say we are texting buddy, but I have his number and we are texting and he just wished me good luck with this presentation. Yeah, initially I was hesitant, when I file for an application, there is a process where I can put the manager's name, but at that time I was still learning about Jason. I was still learning about other employees, so I was not sure. Later on, as this process moved forward, I get a chance to understand and learn and understand and find out more about Jason and his work ethics. I did get a chance to talk to Davey, the current owner, and she had all the glowing recommendation. I've been to Damascus Liquor, I will say probably 10 times, and I've watched Jason and Amy and Holly working, providing customer services. And I really like what they were doing. Some of the decline that we are currently seeing, I personally feel that it's not because of the employee, it's because of the other reason, and I can go on that as well. But based on my understanding, I think the employees are doing phenomenal job there. And when I talked to Jason, he was really excited to retain the position as well. So I put his name in the PowerPoint.
Thank you.
You're welcome very much.
And then,
go ahead. Sorry.
just one more question was, what are you currently doing now? I was reading over kind of the co-owners and managers of, what are your current people doing?
Right now, I do not have any fixed schedule in any of my stores. I still do make a strategic decision of all 4 stores. If any of my employees needs to take a day off, I go to the store and replace them, work on their schedule. I do visit my store every day, at least one store every day. Right now, these days, I mostly try to make the strategic decision and connect with the vendors.
So you're still the manager of the
I am not the manager. I mean, I kind of still make the strategic decision, but all 4 stores does have manager that works there, most of the day. I still do make the strategic decision on those stores. So like if we need to bring the new vendors, like I work with the stores and make that decision, hey, we need to make we need to get new vendor partners for these particular items. Or if we need to be involved on doing something different, like a data scan program on tobacco, then that comes from me. I will work with the vendors and, and implement it.
Thank you.
You all.
So what brought you out here to Oregon? You're in Minnesota and
My wife first, we both used to go to college in Minnesota. Obviously the winter is brutal out there. We did get a chance to open the liquor store there. We had gift shop, we had a kiosk in the mall. But primarily it was the weather that bring us to Northwest. I moved to Seattle for a year, and then Seattle was a little high, expensive, and I decided to move to Portland. And I've been living in Portland since 2013. I have been living in Clackamas County for, I would say, a couple of years before I was in Washington County. Personal reason, kids' education and all that stuff. I had to move to Clackamas County, but we have been living in Greater Portland area for a good 12, 13 years.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you very much. Excellent presentation.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Is it just me or does everybody see his shirt? It's polo, says Damascus liquor.
I can't see that.
I actually wanted to put something big, like can I help you or with some kind of message, but since the timeline was short, I was not able to. I was not sure if I should wear it because I was thinking that if you guys gonna see it or not, but I'm glad that you did. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And it's not. Take this.
Okay, up next, we have Ray Milwaukee Inc. and President and Agent Representative Stephen Gray.
Morning. Well, morning. First of all, I really felt following a video and a shirt with Damascus liquor.
Yeah, right.
And I'm gonna give you another handout, so I really apologize. Okay.
You bet. We're gonna wait for the chair to
Yeah.
come back to
You wait.
begin. No. Pass them out to you. We'll just wait for you to present when the chair.
Absolutely.
The chair is back.
It's your lunch. I think it's either recycled. I know. Let me see, I think I did. Just turn off the makers.
It's funny, like I look at it, but then it doesn't make sense until.
Welcome.
Okay, all good? All right. My name is Steve Gray. I'm the owner of Gray's Milwaukee Inc. And I'm also the agent at Milwaukee Beverage, right, on Oak Street, Milwaukee. Okay, I'm here to interview for 1222 Damascus. Next slide, please. This is a quick table of contents, what we're gonna go through, an introduction to me, what we're gonna do inside the store. Next slide, please. Okay, my name is Steve Gray. I own Milwaukee Food and Beverage for the last 3 years. 2024 sales and no liquor it was up 3.1% year over year. 24 GOS inventory was a 6.5 under the discrepancy rate. And the inventory result was a 0.01%. And 40 years experience with Safeway Incorporated, 10 years as a store director, last 12 years as a district manager, oversaw 20 stores from the Plain Portland market all the way to, all the way to into the coast. $13+ million a week in sales, and I have a lot of background, small store. Next slide, please. Okay, here's the SWOT analysis. First of all, very few stores come for sale that are put together this nice. I mean, I got to give the previous one the credit. It's very well done. Now, can we do things that make it a little bit better? That's what we're going to talk about. Okay, it's very nice decor, concrete floor, fast growing community. Big back room, so be able to improve variety and selection. The back room can handle it. Some of the opportunities that store layout. There's a variety problem when you come to liquor, beer, and wine. It's very limited, especially in the alcohol side of it, the liquor side of it. And I really don't see a lot of the special orders where there's a special order process, or I don't see those on the shelf, like the hard to get, some of the new and fascinating items. Okay, one of the weaknesses. It's located on a busy, congested intersection. Has a small beer and wine selection as of right now. And the exterior signage just needs to be redone brighter and made it bigger and visible from the street. And then the threats we already know about the liquor license business went to the other store. And I appreciate that because when I bought the Milwaukee store, I paid for the liquor license business and I lost almost $1 million the day I walked in. So I lost all the business and we had to focus solely on consumer sales, which I want to talk about. Next slide, please. Okay, business of hours of operation. Here's the current one up top. Proposed hours is we're gonna mirror what my store is currently. Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday, 10 to 8, Sunday 10 to 6. Next slide, please. Here's the current location, what the store looks like today. All those small boxes to the left, as you'll notice, those are all shippers and gifts and things like. So if you walk in, you do see that clutter, and it's very, kind of blocks the view. And on that top of every aisle, there's gifts and things like that for. It kind of represents more of a Hallmark store and not a liquor store. Next slide, please. Okay, here's my proposal. We're going to redo the front of the store. To the left, we're going to fold refrigerated cases for the customers to buy. We're going to have another gondola. We're going to zone the store. We're going to have a tequila zone, a vodka zone, a bourbon zone, a scotch zone. And the far left store will be the gift zone. They're going to carry the gift because obviously it's popular. We're going to close off where the customers can't get to the back room. If you see on the back, that's going to be more refrigerated cases. We're going to add an updated modern break room for employees. And on the far right, there's all brand new shelving, all set to new additional liquor items we're going to start carrying. Next slide, please. The picture didn't come out quite as good as I wanted it to, but if you take a look, if you look on the sheet here, it looks purple, but it's going to be a nice beige color to go in with the color tone. Next slide, please. And this is one where you see where the wall is red right now. We're going to make it a nice beige. You go with the brown concrete floor and the black ceiling. Next slide, please. This is a new additional sign. You can see it at the bottom. You'll see what it currently is. And on top is my proposal with the window decor. We're also going to go after beer cakes to go. Cakes to go for my current store is blowing up, and it's not very many places you can go get a quarter cake of beer and a 6 cake for their kegerators. They buy the kegerator today. Next slide, please. Okay, 30 and 60, 90-day timeline. We're going to hold a meeting with every employee to let them know that we value them, we want them to stay. I'm going to designate a licensee manager because we have to go back after the bar business. We're going to set labor budgets to make sure that there's staffing on the floor on busy times of the day. We're going to install shelving. I already have the shelving in the warehouse from my previous store, so we'll easily be able to add the shelving quickly. And then we're going to start planning the break room to be built out and begin assessment of the computer and security system. 60 days, we're going to meet with every vendor partner to start the reset process. We're going to literally reset every aisle, every store. We did it in my current location. And it's a very simple process if you plan it. We're going to join, I live in Happy Valley. I live literally 2 miles from the store, so the closest store to my house. We're going to join the Damascus team, but I'm all over Happy Valley. I go to all the concerts, all the events in the community. I know what my neighbors and friends are saying, so I know how we can take this store to the next level. All right. Upgrade the shelving, and then we're going to consolidate the novelty kit set into one zone location. 90 days, we're going to launch a delivery truck program, get some business going. We're going to meet every potential licensee within the next 5 miles around the store. We're gonna paint the inside the store the nice cream color to just give it a nice look. We're gonna install new modern signage on the outside to improve visibility from the street. This signage never turns off, stays light all day long, so on a cloudy, rainy day, brights up red, with the beer wine. In addition, the refrigeration cases will be added. Next slide. Okay, we're gonna do it service equals sales. Greet every customer who walks in the store, become a sales expert, speedy checkout, nobody waits in line. And thank every customer, make them feel valued. And we're gonna go after the digital and the social media big time. We did it in my current location, and we're gonna continue to do it here. Next slide, please. Okay, protecting the business, service equals prevention. We believe that 100%. We're gonna enhance the security measures, adjust every camera, make sure they're visible. We're gonna keep all shelving and displays free, clutter free, so we can see customers. Upgrade the existing security system and add monitors where I'll be able to see every square inch of the store from the sales floor. We're gonna perform daily checks of the exterior perimeter doors and things like that. Employee training, every employee, whether they've had it or not, they're gonna provide selling alcohol responsibly, they're gonna sign off. We're gonna be training the staff. Train them on best practices, conduct weekly inventory checks, because that's really important in controlling the inventory. You gotta do it on a regular basis. You can't wait to inventory to come up and say, oh, I'm 25,000 I'm short. You need to know that every single week. We're gonna supervise every trash cardboard dump. And we're gonna lead with integrity and consistency to foster a team that respects processes and accountability. Bars and restaurants, I already talked about it, personal outreach, flexible, reliable delivery time, team continuity, and incentive. I'm gonna pay an incentive to any employee that can go out and do the bar, restaurant, or licensee to come to the store, they'll be rewarded. Next slide, please. Okay, sales strategy. Again, it's just a quick overview of what we talked about. We're gonna enhance the store operation and customer experience, merchandising and inventory optimization. We're gonna drive impulse sales and highlight key products, time of day, RTDs, backroom employee efficiency. We're gonna redo the back room because we're gonna add probably 100,000 plus new items in dollars. Just liquor. We're focusing on liquor. Liquor sales been down 5 straight years. We're gonna take liquor sales next year to positive. And the financial investment on my part, just to do the cases and what we're doing,
30 seconds.
$30,000 to $70,000. Next slide, please. Happy Valley in Damascus is the fastest growing city and one of the fastest growing cities in the state of Oregon. Median household income is $120,000. You need to have their product. Next slide, please. This is my team. You'll see me. This is my 2 boys. 2 boys are the managers. This is my family. We're in every single store. We have a plan set. I'm used to being the DM going from store to store. So I'll be in each one of my stores every single day. Plus, it's 2 minutes from my house. All right, that's it.
Thank you.
You've done this before. That was great.
So this will be your second liquor store? Correct.
What are your stats on your first store?
The first year, we were negative. I thought we lost. It's a big number. I hate to say in public. So we remodeled the store, added beer and wine. We have probably the largest selection of beer within about a 4-mile radius, and that includes a Fred Meyer and a Safeway. Beer sales are double digits up 3 years in a row. Wine sales surprised me the most, and liquor sales were up last year on take away what we lost in the bar business. And so we've been positive inside the customer counts up every single year for the last 2 years. And the one thing I'm positive the most, we haven't lost one employee doing that. We hired, but nobody left, nobody retired. We're pretty psyched about that.
You bet. Great presentation.
Yeah.
Nothing for me.
Any questions?
Excellent, thank you.
You were very thorough.
Thank you.
Okay, up next, we've got 1237 Beaverton Allen Boulevard. Again, that's vacancies due to Rick Bauer's resignation. And we will bring up AJ and his wife, Carrie, again representing Nature Partners LLC.
Welcome again.
Try to finish in time this time. Thank you.
Yeah, you did great though.
A lot of information to you. For the break again, I'm AJ.
Hi, I'm Carrie.
We're representing Nature Partners LLC. So, okay, I'm ready. Good morning again, commissioners. So, next slide, please. I'll directly jump into, I currently work in the store that I'm applying for right now, since February 2025, alongside the owner and manager. Proud Beaverton parents, our home is less than 4 miles from the liquor store, and it's less than 10 minutes. And we own and manage UPS store directly across the street. Next slide, please. So this is looking on the shopping complex, and bottom left is the green box is where the liquor store is situated. Our UPS store is right across the Murray Street, and it's literally right there. And our house is on the south of Beaverton, less than 4 miles from Salisbury. So this is the board view. Next slide, please. So this is our vision: all modern, well-branded, community-focused one-stop liquor shop in Beaverton, proudly serving entire Oregon. Next slide, please. Market intelligence. I wanted to highlight that Liquor Store 1237 is already one of the Portland's top sellers of tequila and mezcal. So, and we see statistics, it's on the rise. So we want to leverage that market opportunity, and also focusing on other aspects, including incorporating J&G in our customer base. Next slide, please. Looking at the peers presentation, sales, 1237 has strong licensing sales on the top. Red bottom, but lagging on the retail sales, actually at the lower bottom. And we think that revitalizing the retail sales is crucial to revive the business, but without compromising our licensee strength. Next slide, please. Quick SWOT analysis tells us that this is a legacy store, 25 plus years with family owned. Our owner is right here in the room with us, and it has a loyal customer base. But it is struggling to capture the growth opportunity and attract new customers. And Beaverton is one of the growing cities in Oregon, and next to the big traffic, Murray and Allen. So next slide, please. So our vision tells us there's a key factors we can focus on: store visibility, then the modernizing the store, and increasing the confined space at the store currently. Next slide, please. Low visibility is the store is tucked in the back corner of the complex, barely visible from the parking lot. No piling street signage on the Allen or Murray Road. The storefront is further obscured by the landscaping and we need a visual response. Next slide, please. If we compare the other peer store that I just showed, just looking at the store, I think it needs a refreshed view. New lightings, new flooring, new shelves, a bigger space would really help. Next slide, please. Just focusing in here, I just want to highlight a few things. It's a cramped layout, restricts the merchandising, promotion, and one-stop shop potential. The backroom congestion impacts employees' efficiency during the seasonal hours. And current owner expressed long expressed desire to expand, and also the idea supported by OLCC. Next slide, please. So this is my vision. I wanted to relocate the store just 20 feet away within the same complex, shown in the green box here. Next slide, please. And this is very, it has 80% larger space with its own street signage. It is next to Ace Hardware and in front of Safeway. It has big, large windows next to Allen and Murray Boulevard. And it's a rare opportunity that it's available right now as we transition in the lease of this, which expires in August. Next slide, please. This is what I have vision as the front side of the store would look like. Next slide, please. And the layout it shows on the left is barely 2,000 square footage versus almost 3,500 square footage, larger space, more opportunity. Next slide, please. This is my communication with the landlord. He has already given me a very discount price on this, and he's open for negotiation, and he's willing to, he's supporting. He was just texting me yesterday, what's the update? And I said, I will give him today. Next slide, please. And this is my plan B. Staying in the current store with the modernizing the store. Well, that's what I envision would look like, but still it doesn't address the Achilles heel, which is the visibility of the store and the confined space. Next slide, please. So the proposed layout in a new plan A that I propose is to move to the larger store within the same complex with all these opportunities, updated walls, modern expanding coolers, boosting selection, premiumizing cabinets, humidors. Next slide, please. This is what I have envisioned. New lightings, new updated floors, more coolers, walls, and everything. I'm really excited for this opportunity to transform what I look on the left into the one that I vision on the right. Next slide, please. So this is equipment that I'll be bringing into the store and with costs associated. Next slide, please. The 5 strategy that I follow, besides modernization, I want to make it a one-stop shop. That's why I wanted to expand it. I wanted to minimize the current inventory by 30%. I want to give a premium service to our strong licensees. They are our goal. And free same-day delivery, I'm learning from our current owner, Britt. Customer service is first. So I don't want to break that rule. So I will continue that, even expand that. Community outreach. We are already the member of Beaverton community, Beaverton Chamber of Commerce, participating in schools, business networks. So we'll leverage this and take it to the next level. Next slide, please. We'll increase the store hours by 24 hours weekly, which is 40%, and 6 out of 8 employees are interested to extend. And fact is, they are within 1 mile radius. So it's a locally invested team that I'm excited to join. Next slide, please. This is what I have looked at the financials. There's not much big difference from Plan B to Plan A, but Plan A has a lot more long-term potential. With in 5 years, it has a curve to double the revenue within 5 years, and then it also is proactively repositioning the store to align with the evolving market trend and the long-term customer demand. Next slide, please. Why we are the good fit for this store? Because we are Beaverton locals, just a few minutes away from our home, and we already have a proven track record to increase the revenue of a struggling business in the same shopping complex. And as a current employee at the store, I know customer, I know how employees are treating them. They have the customer excellence is the best. We can look at the Google review. I want to sustain that and continue further. And I understand the inventory. I wanted to bring it down by 30%. I'm invested locally. I have in my previous current team, I already have 2+ years of local employees, and it's growing. The retention is there. And we value our employees. I have a strategic plan to double the revenue within 5 years, 3 to 5 years. And I will carry on what Britt has done in this store, customer service excellence. I'll focus on that. I'll build on our licensee strength. And I'll expand and make a new generation open large store open to all. That's why I said in the beginning, entirely serving the whole Oregon, because one of the employees currently there, mentioned there, all the way from the south of Oregon, someone came there to buy tequila. The store is that popular. So I wanted to continue that. I want to expand that. I want to make it a next level store. Next slide, please. And this is the recommendation letter. She acknowledges my work there. I'm happy to. I worked in there in past couple of months, and she's also here today. So thank you very much, Britt.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. Next slide, please. And this is my family. I was not able to briefly describe earlier in my previous presentation. My little dog Marshmallow, my 11-month-old child, and my 3-year-old daughter. And this is our picture from our Christmas. So thank you for this opportunity. And I love to join this board and be part of this family. Thank you very much.
You got 30 more seconds.
How are you funding this?
I have 400K already aligned. So our business line is ready by 150. I have bank savings 200K and stock another 50. So I have already shown 400K in my application, and I have proved that if additionally needed, I'll tap into my retirement as well. So it is about 200K a month. So.
Chair.
Commissioner?
I know I have to put you on the spot, but do you have a preference? Because you really like those stores, which one would you rather get?
That's a good question. I thought about it. Both are lovely stores. That's the reason we applied for both. We saw huge growth potential. You saw the curve. Both stores are retail at the bottom. So there's a potential there, population-wise growing, if we understand the market. Being the proximity to the store, having worked in the store currently right now, and knowing the customers, I prefer Allen 1237. But I would love the opportunity. I know OLCC allows to own up to 2 stores, and I have a team. My wife would go on.
Now you're going to
both. Yeah, and I have my brother too, who will help me. I have a team ready, financials ready, as you mentioned.
At our UPS store, it's me, him, and his brother who's managing the store. So it is kind of family owned. That helps us to increase the revenue by 30% in the first year. It was a great example across the whole UPS store.
Yeah.
When our
they even recognize us in our network meeting. In first year we increased revenue by 30%.
Yeah, so that Beaverton community, it has a big pocket. So we went there, we did advertisement, we have an excellent Google review.
Yeah.
So we continued that and everything. And what we noticed on the Damascus store was like it requires more on-floor presence.
Yeah.
Like Yucca store, people come and ship their items. Some of them are shipping their remains, their parent remains. Some of them are shipping their medicines. So those things are crucial, right? And those things require more owner attention. So we stayed there, and it helped us really grow. So Damascus store going with the theft and everything. So we thought.
I think that's because I think last year that store struggled, Damascus store, because the management visibility was very low. I know that speaking with Davey and other store employees, they lost manager to another store, so they had to transfer that manager from that store to Clackamas store, and the employees are running that store right now. And Davey had lots of ideas, and CVC had more time, and but unfortunately last year was not her year. So that's why I think there's a drop in the sales in Franklin for Damascus.
Yeah.
But going back to your question, right, Alvin Boulevard is my first preference. It's within 4 miles of my store, but I would love to have opportunity to be part of the both stores when I have the funding and resources ready.
Or both.
you.
So what takes you from PhD in chemical engineering to a liquor store?
That's a very good question. I'm born in a business family. My father used to get the same question all the time. He is professor by profession, and he now owns a business. So being a part of the business, seeing him transitioning there, I saw how being him a professor versus how he's a businessman, how he changed my life. It opens lots of opportunity. And I see that my 2 kids are there. So being within a salary versus having my own venture, having a business owned with my wife's next to me, that opens a lot of opportunity for me. And I think that's a main reason.
Yeah, and that satisfaction you get from providing service to the community too, it can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, last but not least, so we've got Common Core LLC with managing member and Representative Murad Barani.
Sure.
Thank you.
Commissioner,
Thank you.
thank you for your time on OCC.
Thank you.
Commissioner, thank you.
Thank you. Jim.
Thank you.
Good, you have minutes.
All right, thank you.
Welcome.
Chair, esteemed commissioners, good afternoon. My name is Murad Karani. I am here to respectfully share my vision for store 1237, Highland Hill Spirits and Wine, and request your trust in me as an agent of the OLCC so that I can grow and lead the store forward. I have provided a comprehensive plan, and rather than walk you through every single slide, please feel free to move through at your own pace while I highlight my vision for the store. In slides 2 and 3, you will find information about my background, that this is more than a business opportunity for me. It's a personal investment in a community I grew up in and love, and a chance to turn the store into the kind of retail experience our neighborhood deserves. I have deep ties to the area. I went to Highland Park Middle School in the neighborhood. I graduated from Valley Catholic High School up the street from the store, and I still live in the neighborhood and raised my 2 kids there. My roots are there, and the community matters to me. I received my business education from Portland State University, where I obtained my MBA. My core values revolve around hard work, integrity, family, and service to others. I'm also deeply committed to serving our communities, and I volunteer at great organizations such as Dornbeckers, Rosehaven Women's Shelter, Meals on Wheels, and I sit on the board of the Oregon Children's Theater. My retail life started at the age of 10, when I worked at my uncle's dollar store for 25 cents an hour. I don't think he was following the labor laws very well. On slides 4 and 5, you will see that professionally, I've spent over 25 years in retail operations. I've built, owned, or operated a multitude of retail businesses, including managing a complex wholesale and retail Dunkin' Donuts operation that ran 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, a business where inventory forecasting was critical due to the perishable nature of products. As the top-rated franchisee of 6 Subway locations across Portland, I directed a team of over 50 employees and ensured the accurate accomplishment of up to 36 weekly deposits. I performed all aspects of business development and operations, everything from new site identification analysis, commercial lease negotiation, layout, construction, marketing, merchandising, and customer service, all of which would be very relevant to store 1237. I did this while working within a tight framework of policies, yet applying individual innovation, creativity, and business knowledge. I also offer a significant amount of Oregon liquor retail experience. I was an integral part of starting, building, and growing one of the top grossing stores in Oregon with 12 million in revenue, 2,000 SKUs, and 1 million in inventory that needed safeguarding. I am familiar with every part of the liquor business, from compliance and operations to special orders, roll calls, responsible selling, OLCC policies, deposits, and weekly sales reports. Store 1237 has a long history of serving the community with an agent who put her heart and soul into the operations, as many of us small business owners do, and should be commended. In slides 6 through 9, you'll see some of the current site challenges. To grow the store to the next level, the existing location faces several hurdles. There is limited to no street visibility, no effective signage, no quick turn parking, a tight interior which doesn't allow for enough selection, storage, or customer experience, and a dated decor with deferred maintenance. These are fundamental retail issues that hold the store back from reaching its full potential and meeting the needs of the customers the store was placed there to serve. In slides 10 to 14, you'll see the locations I've analyzed so far. After careful analysis, the greatest potential for improvement for store 1237 lies in relocation. Relocation will allow the expansion of the store footprint, provide visibility, increase product offerings and selection, and ultimately enhance the customer experience. I have scoured the geographic service area for available sites, including those not on the market yet. I have had numerous conversations with landlords and brokers and have already established valuable relationships with them as well as the existing landlord. This relationship is critical as there is a lease that expires in August and can significantly impact the future of the existing store and clientele. I will work with the OLCC staff to select a location that will continue to serve the trade area without encroaching on existing stores. In slides 15 to 19, provides a detailed relocation design plan along with interior renderings on what the experience will feel like. A large footprint store of at least 3,000 square feet also provides 50% more space and the ability to expand offerings across all key product categories, give customers uncluttered, open aisles, and attractive displays to create an experience rather than a transaction. On slides 22 to 27, you will see the underpinnings of the business operations. Everything from customer service expectations, which will include staff wearing uniforms and name tags, to POS and inventory management, which will focus on safeguarding Oregon assets, to marketing strategies for branding and sales growth. Also on slide 27, I've highlighted expanded hours for the store offering customers earlier openings, later evenings, and fuller weekend availability. As an agent, I will be fully hands-on and present. I am no stranger to hard work or long hours. I will be involved daily in hiring, training, purchasing, and operations to ensure high service standards and strong compliance with policies and procedures. Many of the proposals I have made are not limited only to a new location. If relocation is impossible or while relocation is pending, on slide 28, I've outlined a comprehensive improvement strategy for the current site, which includes expanding the current hours of operation, working with the landlord to enhance signage and visibility, modernizing and decluttering the interior, and maximizing effectiveness of the retail space. In closing, I believe I offer a unique combination of deep local knowledge and ties, proven business leadership with the ability to leverage technology, hands-on OLCC retail experience, a strong forward-thinking plan, and perhaps most importantly, I understand that this role is about public trust. It's not just sales, it's stewardship. Thank you again for your time and consideration. I welcome any questions you may have.
Thank you. Commissioners? Do you still have the Pearl Liquor Store?
The agent is my brother, so he still works there. He's still there.
Oh, okay.
So I was deeply
It's not your
involved.
store.
It's not my store.
I got you.
I was deeply involved in running the business during my time there from 2007, 2014. So everything from design, layout, marketing, operations, and so on.
Jared,
Sure.
do you still run the Subway stores?
No, I sold the stores in 2014 when I got married and had kids.
What are you currently doing then?
So I own a small apartment complex that doesn't require a lot of my time.
Okay, thank you.
Well, love your experience with Dunkin' Donuts, but
Mostly an East Coast brand, but they're coming back to the West.
our daughter worked there for a while. I think it was on that barber store. I don't think she's had a donut since.
Oh, wow, that barbershop.
Yeah,
That was.
that was quite a while ago.
That was over 20 years, yes.
Any other questions? Commissioners?
No other questions, but I do just want to kudos to you. I think there was, I read 6 pages of supplemental questions that you had provided in your application, and that was very thorough, very thought out, and thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you. Now we break. All right, we're going to consider agent selection after the public presentations of candidates. The commission will now go into executive session to deliberate on the agent selection pursuant to the authority of ORS 192.6602A. If there are any members of the media present, representative of the news media and this designated staff shall be allowed to attend the executive session. Representative of the media are specifically directed not to report on any of the deliberations during the executive session, except to state the general subject of the session as previously announced. No decisions may be made in executive session. We will return to open session in this room. All right, we are back in session. The selection of retail agents.
Right. Oh, you're first. Oh, I'm so sorry, Chair. Chair.
Commissioner.
I move to, okay, so Damascus Store 1222, I move to appoint Mr. Steve Gray as the permanent agent at Store 1222 Damascus, effective June 2nd, 2025.
Thank you. We have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Please take the roll.
Commissioner Chowry?
Yes.
Commissioner Curran?
Yes.
Commissioner Floyd?
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn?
Meg, where'd you go?
I'll come back to her, maybe. She hasn't gotten back in yet.
We've got a quorum.
Okay, Commissioner Jaquan Porter?
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes?
Yes.
Commissioner Melinas?
Yes.
Commissioner Warren? Chair Doherty?
Yeah.
Yes. So. She back on you?
Commissioner Jordan, are you on?
Chair, I just have a quick question.
Yes.
Since he applied as a legal entity, the legal entity is going to be the agent and the appointed person, he would be the agent representative. I'm not sure if that matters.
So we need to
Oh,
name,
so
the
LLC.
motion needs to name the legal entity. Right. Yes.
Oh.
Could you
Okay,
amend the motion,
Chair.
please?
I move to appoint, and I apologize, the motion, the entity is
It's
Gray Milwaukee.
Gray Milwaukee Inc. as the permanent agent at Store 1222 Damascus, effective June 2nd, 2020.
Congratulations.
Thank
you. We now have the Store 1237.
Commissioner? Chair?
Commissioner. You already forgot everything.
Regarding Beaverton Allen Boulevard Store 1237, I move to appoint AJ and Carrie as the permanent agent at Store 1237 Beaverton Allen Boulevard, effective June 16, 2025. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Moved in second, excuse me. Yes, could we have call the roll, please? I'm gonna bring it in here too.
We need to redo it. for the Same
Oh,
thing.
we
thing.
did.
Oh,
Get them correct.
nature,
It is.
health, flora, health.
I don't have it right in front of me. What's your
Nature partners.
nature?
Nature Nature Park.
Regarding Beaverton Allen Boulevard Store 1237, I move to appoint Nature Partners LLC as the permanent agent at store 1237, Beaverton Allen Boulevard, effective June 16, 2025. Congratulations again.
Moved and seconded. All right,
Commissioner Chari,
yes.
Commissioner Curran,
Yeah.
Commissioner Floyd,
Yeah.
Commissioner Glenn,
Yes.
Commissioner Japon Porter.
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Miletus,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Chair Doherty.
Yes. So now we have Elijah coming up to talk about stipulated settlements. There you are. Line back in the corner.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair Doherty, Commissioners. It's Elijah Miguel, case presenter for the city hearing.
I know. I'm just at the tail end of it. Oh, I'm laid up for a few days.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
No, it's just a head cold, just stuff you got.
Sinus is draining.
It goes from the chest, let the get some.
Okay, I had that.
Good afternoon, Commissioner, Chair Doherty, Commissioners. My name is Elijah Miguel, case presenter for the Administrative Hearings Division. And I have to present to you today 4 alcohol stipulated settlements for violations, 2 marijuana stipulated settlement agreements for violations, and 1 alcohol licensing stipulated settlement. If there are any questions, I'm happy to take questions.
Does anybody have any questions on these? Can we do these in group or? We got 3 different groups, so.
No, 3 different, yes.
Yeah,
If you'd like me to present them separately, I can.
Chair,
Commissioner,
in regards to the alcohol violations, I move to ratify the 4 alcohol stipulated settlement agreements as proposed by staff.
Second,
moved and seconded. Any discussion? Take the roll, please.
Commissioner Chari,
yes.
Commissioner Curran,
Yeah.
Commissioner Floyd,
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn,
She's struggling with her.
Commissioner Japon Porter,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Miletus,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren.
Yeah.
Chair Doherty.
Yes. Want to continue on?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Chair, in regards to the marijuana violations, I move to ratify the 2 marijuana stipulated settlement agreements as proposed by staff.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Take the roll, please.
Commissioner Chari.
Yes.
Commissioner Curran,
Yes.
Commissioner Floyd.
Yeah.
Commissioner Glenn. Commissioner Japon Porter. Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Miletus.
Yes.
Commissioner Warren.
Yes.
Chair Doherty.
Yes.
And finally, Chair, in regards to the licensing stipulated settlement agreement, I move to ratify the licensing stipulated settlement agreement for Novel Book Bar as proposed by staff.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Commissioner Chari.
Yes.
Commissioner Curran,
Yes.
Commissioner Floyd,
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn. Commissioner Japon Porter.
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Miletus,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Chair Doherty.
Yes. Thank you.
All right.
Nice
Thank you very
presentation.
Thank you, Elijah.
Anytime.
So now we have rules.
Nicole.
And there's Nicole. Thank you.
I need to bring in like a marching band.
Oh my gosh.
Glitter or something.
Great to see you out at the opening.
Thank you.
That was
I
fun.
was fortunate enough to win the staff raffle to attend the groundbreaking yesterday, so
Oh,
really
great.
wonderful experience. All right, good afternoon, Chair Doherty and Commissioners. For the record, Nicole Blase, Rules Coordinator for the Oregon Liquor and Cannabis Commission.
I am here to present one rulemaking action for your consideration today. We have an initial action for the 2025 hemp product registry and Division 26 rename. The Oregon legislature passed House Bill 4121 during the 2024 Oregon legislative session, which, among other things, directs the OLCC to establish a registry for hemp products for sale to consumers in Oregon. This requires the OLCC to adopt new rules in Division 26. The registry's requirements apply to hemp products being sold outside of the OLCC licensed marijuana marketplace. The bill requires the OLCC to adopt rules related to definitions for the hemp product registry, labeling of hemp items by product type, registration requirements, including fees and annual renewal, civil penalties for violations of the law and rules, and embargo and seizure of hemp items. To address these statutory requirements, OLCC staff has conducted a focused advisory committee meeting with industry and public health partners to develop the rules. And to accommodate the hemp product registry in Division 26, the OLCC must also rename Division 26 to Cannabis Concentration Limits and Hemp Product Registry. And I believe we have Anthony Galtoski here joining us virtually to answer any questions you might have.
Commissioner.
Anyone else have any questions?
Good.
I move to initiate rulemaking to adopt rules in Division 26, rename Division 26, and the public rulemaking hearing at staff's discretion.
Moved in second, any discussion? Take a roll, please.
Commissioner Chari.
Yes.
Commissioner Curran,
Yes.
Commissioner Floyd,
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn, Commissioner John Porter, Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Molinas,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Chair Doherty.
Yes. And with that, we will adjourn your last meeting. Thank you. Thank you.
More.
We did it.
Awesome.
Oh.